Yes.
You feel it now.
You
exactly.
feel the
power.
fucking
dude.
Being white and standing behind this podium is.
I got ideas right now. I'm telling you, man. Not that I've ever agreed with anything that Hitler said, and I despise the Nazis and what they did. But if you just want to AI, listen to Hitler speeches in English and just change out the words from Germany to America in your head, you'll get really pumped up for the day.
Yeah.
That guy just knew how to light a fire under you, dude.
Yeah.
Really?
The way that he would speak about Germany was like, I fucking get it, man.
Yeah, it was like they tied to their like mythic folklore of like the German here and all that stuff. And yeah, that would for sure get anyone pumped.
Dude,
up.
he was telling people like, if you die in battle, you're going directly to Valhalla and you're going to ride you're riding like, eagles there. And it's just like, he was like, Germany is versus England right now. Germany's versus Great Britain, at that moment when they're in that war. And he says, we are two superpowers. And the only way to win is one of us is going to have to be destroyed. And it will not be Germany. And the crowd goes nuts. You're like, fuck yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, I started putting on my fucking boots.
Yeah.
I was like ready to go.
He has an outfit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can always give the devil his due. Like everyone's always like, he was a fucking failed artist. No one liked him. It's like people liked him, dude.
No,
people
the kid,
kind of
man. He was a closer. I mean, he was a headliner. You can't. He was a guy when he went up. You're like, all right, we should only do another show 2 days from now.
Yeah.
Let people kind of settle.
Yeah,
he was a talker. I think he gelled the hair, but I think he left the front flap. I think he knew the effectiveness of the flat front.
It was a tail. It was a tail feather.
And then I always loved when he did that afterwards.
Yeah.
Dude,
when
what
he
I
just
like
gathered himself and he did that.
Smeared it back.
Dude, what I like about standing up too is it's a fit city. You can just get your calf raises in while you're. That's why I think you did it, dude. It's just like a workout.
I know. I was tired of sitting around all day.
Yeah.
What's up with all the gay art over here?
I thought it was visually striking. This is nice. My friend told me about this painting. I'm like, I looked it up. I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
I just wanted something kind of intense, and then
Well, I was telling you on the plane. He's a guy. He jerks off to erotic poetry, so this kind of goes with it.
Yeah.
Which I've started doing now, by the way.
The
Because
erotic
it's
is
awesome,
nice.
dude.
So you kind of like us have a little bit of a female brain.
Yes.
Because
100%.
you like the imagination. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's not uncommon amongst us. We are performers, and here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're a performer and you get into the arts, you at least got nicked. You at least got nicked with
by
the gay gene. You got nicked. Some people get fully clipped, like Mateo Lane. We got nicked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got nicked.
We got nicked.
Who gives us our eye?
And we all got nicked. We all got nicked, and our wives and girls, they all know that we're kind of like out of their friend group. Like they're proud of us, but they're like, my husband's kind of gay.
Yeah.
And they just accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's like embarrassing. I don't know what to do. Like I was talking sports. I don't follow it at all. So that it makes me feel really gay when other men are like, dude, you blah blah. And I'm like, I don't.
When you
really
told me that the last time I came on the show, it's something that I swear to God, there's I'm 40 now. You wake up, you have to pee or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's been multiple times in the past months since I've been on your show where I've woken up and like, I can't believe Matt doesn't know anything about sports.
I don't know anything.
And I've just been thinking about it because you're such a guy who you look at this guy and listen to this guy, you're like, he's going to be like an NFL broadcaster, and he doesn't know. I mean, he has a headset on like Tony Romo right now.
I know.
I mean,
I love playing sports. I love playing sports. Like I played football, basketball, and I'll still play sports. I can't bear to follow them. I don't care.
It's amazing because like you look, it's funny to see like physically I like to play sports. God gave you a body for sports, but then this is your brain.
Yeah.
These paintings. This is what it is.
It's real. It's a great representation.
He laughed at us, I think, when he made it. He was like, dude, I'm going to make this Matt one. I'm going to put him outside Philly. I'm going to make him look like an athlete, but then I'm just going to have fucking paintbrushes and just gay stuff in his brain. And I think they laugh.
Yeah. And right now you do look like a high school offensive coordinator with that headset on.
I look the part.
Yeah.
I look like a cop. I really look
and
like
you can
a cop.
the only thing you'll be is like Robert Frost's The Road Less Traveled is a beautiful poem, guys.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But you look like a good cop too.
Yeah.
You really do.
I think I would have been a decent cop.
You would have been a decent cop, and I think you also would have been you're a really good coach. That you would have, if you did fuck around with a kid, it was like in the 80s.
Right.
It wasn't anything recent.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So like one of those things, like you were doing it when everybody's doing it.
No, I was young too.
But you kind of had the thoughts where you realized it was wrong in like the 90s,
Right?
Which is way ahead of most people.
He did it at a time where the parent would have sided with you and not the kid.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
True.
And
It's
be
just
like,
what being
he
a
taught
Catholic
you, He
was.
taught you football, so
Yes.
he was
Yes.
a good guy. Yeah.
We had I went to a basketball camp. It was called Bucky Gill's basketball camp in Chichester, and he was the coach of the girls' high school team. And he got round. He was like apparently like they're in this was the rumor, I should say. That he was like opening the shower curtain, just like spraying them with soap. He was like back there partying with the girls.
Wow,
dude.
And then, we all had his basketball camp shirt because everyone went there.
Yeah.
But then when he got in trouble for it, we'd all wear the shirt. We thought it was funny. We'd all wear the shirt.
But with girls, to me, with girls, are you all right?
Yeah, no, I'm Googling this story that's going to blow your guys' minds.
Okay.
Yeah.
With girls, I almost like, obviously it's fucked up, but it's not, it's like, that's rare. it's always boys getting clipped. It's usually always the boys getting clipped.
I know.
I was in 2 situations. I went to Penn State football camp when I was a kid, never got clipped. Never saw Jerry Sandusky, but never got clipped. And then there was another guy in Christ the King, basketball coach Bob Oliva, that also went down for that stuff, and I never got clipped by him. And I was many, many times in the gym, just him and I, because my mom had to work. So I was the kid that I would get dropped off. My mom would pay extra to drop me off at basketball camp at like 7 a.m., 45 minutes before, because she had to get to work. And it was just him and I, and he never did anything, never clipped me at all. And I know like the hack joke, what people say is like, oh, what about me? Whatever. Like, you know, but I genuinely had like feelings about it. I was like, am I ugly?
Wait a
Really?
second.
Yeah, like I really would talk to my therapist about it.
It's the opposite. I think when you're like a Jack Strong kid, they know, they're like, no, this kid might.
They
be
won't.
mad.
Yeah.
They
Well,
won't
no, you know what I think Bob Oliva and these people saw in me? They were like, this guy will kiss me back, and that's not what I want.
I don't know if this has ever happened on a podcast, but I just realized that I got clipped.
When did you get clipped?
You got clipped?
I think I just got clipped.
When?
happened?
You started talking, and I was like,
You got hit?
I think
That's
I
how
might
it
have got
works.
hit.
That's how it
Yeah,
works.
just-
You don't remember.
Yeah.
One day
Tell
it
us
just
about
comes
it,
I
back.
gotta brace myself.
Tell us about
Wait,
it.
this is the exact position I was in. I think I got banged.
Who'd you get banged out by?
Someone made you an artist?
I think St. Savior's. I think somebody turned me into the arts. No, I'm kidding. But dude, there's this crazy story where my brother went to Poly Prep. You know Poly Prep in Bay Ridge. Anyone can look up this story. There was this
Brother who's an openly gay man.
openly gay man.
Openly gay
Yeah.
man, big time hotshot attorney, but a full, I mean, as gay, gayer than you paint.
Your brother's a gay attorney.
He's
Yes.
$3 bill gay.
Which is
He's
what
gay
messes
as a
with
$3
him
bill.
because he's got the, you know, his brother got
he's
hit
got-
hard
yeah.
with, so he's like, how much of this gay gene did I get nicked with? If literal, I came out of the same womb, which might be just a tainted gay womb.
Yeah, true.
it's
And
clipped.
it's like, were we really wrestling that whole time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
So
What
I
was
get
happening?
his pain.
Yeah, what was really happening? But dude, this story's crazy. Philip Foglietta was his name, and he was
Sauce
a
monkey.
legendary football coach at Poly Prep, and he molested. He had a legendary program that like they were like incredible. The community supported him. Whatchamacallit, the mobs. What was the mob guy?
Oh, with John Gotti?
No, before him.
John Gotti, Paul Castellano.
Before him.
Before the Gambino crime family.
Gambino.
Okay.
Carlo Gambino.
Yeah.
Carlo Gambino's kid. Carlo. Yeah.
That's the most Italian thing I've ever seen.
DeVecchio's fucking sandwich shop.
It's Italian autism.
His son went there, and this kid clipped like hundreds of kids.
Really?
Hundreds of kids for so long, and it finally came out, and like so many kids got clipped, and it was happening like in front of kids. They had jokes about it, but it was just back in that era.
Back in the
But he was like a gangster too.
he was just a legendary football
Oh,
coach.
I thought you were saying he was like part of like the mafia.
Gambino's son went to that school. He didn't. I don't think he got clipped.
I thought he was.
I don't want to say
I thought he
that
was
fucking-
clipping kids and being like, forget about it.
Yeah, kind of was. He was
My
kind
little
of
cannoli cream?
Yeah, he was like the last guy anyone would expect, but he would take kids and he'd put them in his Cadillac. He did it in the most Italian way.
Right.
He'd be like,
Yeah.
let's go get some Zeppelis, kid. You're a good lineman.
Right.
And he'd be like, let me see a penis.
Right.
Yeah, this will help you. You want to start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens, dude.
sucks.
But what do we think? Because obviously, you know, the guys, that happens a lot, the Sandusky's of the world, the Fogliettas, whatever. But like women teachers have sex with this male students, like it's rampant, and they get caught all the time. But if you all you have to do, I encourage you at home, go home and just ask like 3 or 4 people if they know someone, and they all know someone who maybe the woman hasn't gotten arrested, but they know, like I know in high school, my friend banged the teacher. It was confirmed it happened. She never got arrested for it. It never came out to the public. It never will. But it's so what is that? Do we know?
Why they don't get in trouble? You're
Well,
saying?
no. Why do they constantly do that?
Why are they always hot?
Always,
Dude,
huh?
so I think it goes down to or comes down to like a lot of women's television is still centered around high school. Like even like you know like what like there's always, in my opinion, a lot of those soaps have like a heavy high school romance element to it.
Right.
Like women constantly watch high schoolers like make out and have sex. It's part of a
That's
lot
a
of the
good
shows
call.
anyway.
I never thought about that. Like Euphoria.
That was a big one, dude. All like the just all those like soapy dramas. A lot of them are centered around high school love, and that's like a thing for them. It's like the meeting when like a boy and a girl first, like they finally kiss and meet. Women, like their brains like freak out.
You don't
for
think
that.
it's payback though for like centuries and centuries and centuries of 50 or 40-year-old dudes just marrying 11-year-olds, and now girls are finally like, you know what? I'm gonna bang this 16-year-old. just to pay back what guys have been doing to us for so long.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be a pedophile.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. They came so far that they can be pedophiles.
Yeah.
That's
how you know that we're equal now. Yeah.
You think Trump will change the law and just let boys have a legal age at like 13 and you could just fucking clip them all day? Like
just for boys?
Just for boys. You think Trump will just be like, these boys really don't give a shit. It's their moms getting in the way. I mean, honestly, if I was 15 and I'm sorry, no, I lost my virginity at 17. But then I was 17 and banged a woman in her 30s. So that's technically a crime, right? But I don't care.
Yeah.
And she does it. It would never make a difference to me.
Yeah.
But if I was a girl, I might get older and be like, I got seduced.
Was she a babysitter or a family friend? Or
She was a family friend. That's crazy you knew it. She was a family friend.
Wow.
Yeah. I might have told you. Maybe I told you. She was a family friend.
The thing about the women.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They always do it like that. They even do it in a woman way. Like they get to know you first, you talk to them.
Yeah.
Well,
guys just snatch you up and put you in the car. Women are like,
Yeah.
let's see, I'm going to give you Spanish lessons after class.
Right.
Yeah,
you're my little buddy.
they
Yeah.
do it a little more emotionally.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. The problem is as a 17-year-old, you can get like sucked into like adult kind of dynamics. Like, say she's cheating on her husband. That's like a crazy thing to get a kid in the middle of. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Although
Right.
to be fair, I don't know. Would you rather, if you were to be cuckolded, would you rather it be like a young like boy?
No, I'd like it to
like
be a black guy with a big dick. Yeah.
You just want to go straight to the
I
source.
just want her to know that it's, and I'll give it to her. I'll be like, I get what you need.
Yeah.
Do you
Do you
need
know
the rest of that whole film?
Do you know the myth of the black guys with the big dick? Do you know where that comes from? The black guy
From their dicks.
Well, no, they absolutely
You play basketball, guys. The biggest things I've seen are it's fucking crazy.
Yo, I know, dude.
Shut out Tim Fudd. Can you cackle that?
Yeah, playing.
Just put a mute over that.
Yeah, Tim Fudd. Big dicks. He named a real guy.
I named a real guy with a fucking dick. I mean, if you saw this thing, you're going, "What is a mutant? What is
Big
this?"
cocks.
Thing?
Tales from the locker room.
Yes.
Yeah. I know, dude. The locker room for me, I went to an all-boy Catholic high school, and I remember like the boy, obviously the players, like everyone going in there butt naked, and I would go in with a bathing suit shorts on because I was a little embarrassed. But then I remember the older kids would be like, "Take off the bathing suit shorts. What are you, fucking gay?" And I'm like, "Isn't it gayer if my dick and balls are out with the rest of you?" But the black dick thing. So supposedly, I think this might have been like 1600s, late 1600s, when like the first waves of like African slaves started to come over. The white men were so scared that they were gonna, because they were how muscular they were, that their wives were just gonna bang them left and right. They said that their dicks were so big, but it was a negative thing back then. Like they're gonna kill you and you're gonna get killed by them. Like that's a weapon. And so but then it became like we want the big dick, but back then the big dick was frowned upon.
Yeah, in ancient
so it was like
Greece,
a negative thing.
It was a bad thing in ancient Greece. If you had like a real small, just flaccid penis, people would be like, "What a astonishing man!"
I got so nervous.
That's why these sculptures, medieval sculptures, are all little flaccid penises because that was beautiful.
Yeah, you were smart.
I got so scared just watching him at that podium when he said African slaves. I was like, I hope this finishes good. Just the podium is just kind of like you're going, all right, let's just.
It's such a funny thing to be like, "Oh, those huge, muscular, exotic guys." Yeah, well, trust me, they got huge dicks. You want anything to do with it?
Yeah, Maggie.
I get some guy raised like his pint of ale. Like, I got it. I know.
But dude, it turns out that they do.
They do.
I mean, not all of them, but the ones that are big are like big, and like the Chinese guys. We've all seen the porn. It's just some of it is genetic.
No, you could look this up. The science though says, as far as like penis length, the African culture, black people in general don't have bigger dicks than anybody else.
Wow.
If you look at the science,
well, if you saw their condom studies, they released the data, and it wasn't the average. It wasn't as big as you would thought in terms of like compared.
Right.
It's not.
They just
that
had a
much
couple
bigger
13,
on average,
14 inches.
But I think their outliers do. I think they kind of.
Right.
I don't know. It's also crazy to be white and have like a huge. That's kind of something unsettling about that.
Yeah, I remember like when Pete Davidson.
I'd get it reduced.
I remember like when Pete Davidson got really. You would get it reduced. You get a reduction.
I would take it right back to where I'm at now. I'd be like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I remember when Pete Davidson got like, like really famous and started to like blow up, and everyone was saying how big of a dick he has, whatever. And then like all these comedians were like making TikToks, be like, dude, I can confirm I saw it. I started comedy with him. I was like, he started comedy when he was 16.
What happened there?
Yeah. I knew him way back before he was famous.
I can confirm that cock, dude. I saw it in high school, bro.
Yeah, it was
I'm in my
big
40s.
when he was 12. Yeah. I was at
I didn't know people did that. That's
Dude,
crazy.
it was crazy. I was literally seeing people be like, stop, don't phrase it like that.
Yeah.
Say it like I saw it a week ago. But if you said we did a road gig together and he just pulled it out, I'm like, yeah, dude, the kid started at 16. His mom used to call me and make sure that he was like being okay on the road because he was a child.
Yeah, you had to be like, dude, his dick's huge.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, Mrs. Davis, Davidson. He's fine. His dick's wraps around my neck, though. How do we stop this? Do I have to feed it?
It is funny to ride the wave of like just someone else's dick. Just be like, yeah, I saw it, and you can catch me on the road at.
Just put your dates across the shaft of his dick of the pic you have from when he's 18.
Yeah, for your dick to get like a legend of its own must be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I mean his has it. I mean no doubt about his has it.
Yeah.
But you ready for this? My call though, my next call for the new absolute coxman is going to be Marcelo from
so?
I think Marcelo's the next coxman big. He's like the Latino Pete Davidson. Like, imagine Pete, all the power Pete has, but on top of that, you're fucking Latino, unstoppable.
Yeah.
How do you stop that?
Although Pete's vague ethnicity is kind of powerful as well.
That's true too.
Because you're like, you don't know what that guy. You're like, whatever, man.
Could be black.
He looks like a black guy who bleached his skin.
He does.
He looks like Sammy Sosa.
Yeah.
He's just a white guy.
Yeah, he's just a white guy, dude. He's from
Staten Island.
He's a fireman's son. He's like as white as he get, white working class as he get, but he does have a black face.
Yeah.
And he's got the cock to match.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
He does.
Yeah.
It's definitely not small.
No way.
Dude, it made it to the halls of Kardashian.
Yeah.
That's a big. That's just
What
that
a
pool
life,
party
dude.
must be crazy.
Yeah,
Amazing.
there's a certain length to get into that party that's been established. There's a precedent that was set that he had to meet. He had to meet. Yeah.
You got to have a dick that size. You have to have 50 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian, you know when you go on the rides, your kid goes to a ride and the ride says you got to be this tall. I mean, Kim Kardashian just goes and measures your dick and goes, you can come into this ride. You got to be this
put it
tall.
on a digital scale.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because like I'm like, as men's minds, like I think we all still think in our minds like, oh, maybe one day we can hook up with Kim Kardashian too, even though we have no chance and no desire to.
I saw her in real life one time.
What'd you think?
It was just happenstance. She's way shorter than you think, but it was for real. It was like I went,
Yeah.
I was stunned.
Dude, I felt that way 2 weeks ago. I did a show at Lucali's Pizzeria, a very famous pizzeria in Brooklyn, some of the best pizza probably the best pizza in New York. And besides Joe and John's, my local pizzeria, shout out Ridgewood, Queens, baby. But Anne Hathaway was in the second row of the show. And when I tell you, the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen in my life, besides, of course, my girlfriend, and obviously she's way hotter, But Anne Hathaway was it literally to the point where I would do a joke. I would be like, she was sitting over here and I'd be like scanning the room and I'd do a joke and I'd hit the punchline and I would, like people be laughing and I would slowly go like this and just make like almost like is she laughing? And there was a couple of times I saw her laugh and I swear to God, dude, I got butterflies in my heart. I was like, oh my God. And then you have this fantasy like she's going to come out here and be like, you were so great. Like, why don't you talk to your wife and I'll talk to my husband. You and I could just be together and they'll allow it and we could just be together and it'll be great. And we could do movies together, but like our wives and husbands don't care. And they're actually cheering it on.
They're supporting us.
Yeah. And then I just drive home and then you're like depressed that like she didn't, DM you.
Check your DMs.
And then you're like, fuck, man, I guess I suck.
Do you remember when we were in that?
She's probably thinking about you right now.
100%, dude.
Yeah, she's probably watching our show, History Hyenas.
Yeah,
right
she
now.
probably
She's
is.
a big fan. Do you remember?
She's probably on the Patreon.
She's probably on the Patreon. You never know. Do you remember we were in that sushi restaurant in LA with Tim Dillon?
Oh yes, yes. This is a great story, dude.
So Emma Stone was in there and she went to the bathroom. And
no, but wait, but Giannis, you're missing a key part. Let me just set this up.
Yeah.
We're in this very famous sushi restaurant with Tim. It's me, Yanni, and Tim Dillon. And Tim Dillon, 20 minutes before, is telling us how much Emma Stone hates him.
Oh, that's right.
Remember, he's telling us Emma Stone despises him. And me and Giannis are listening, but we're kind of be like, maybe Tim's just like making it a bigger deal. Maybe Emma Stone, like, there's no way that Emma Stone hates him. And we were like, maybe Emma Stone doesn't even know who any of us are. We don't know, but we were like, whatever. And then go ahead.
And then she was in the restaurant.
Like in a movie, 20 minutes later, actual Emma Stone walks in and
Yeah, and I think she came in this was my like serendipitous moment. She came in because I think she's the most gorgeous thing in the world. I love how big her eyes are. I like pale women, except for my wife. My wife's the most beautiful, half Italian, half Greek. But she went to the
show, Mrs. Pappas.
She went to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom, and I just saw it as an opportunity to be in the bathroom after Emma Stone.
Oh.
So she went to the bathroom, came out, and then I went to the bathroom, and I did not sniff her seat.
You did?
For
I
sure,
did
yeah,
not,
for sure.
but
Yeah.
I did sit down and pee.
That's perfect.
I did sit down and pee. Yeah,
But,
Dude, that's so nice.
But and then also
that's not creepy, right?
No.
Yeah.
No,
But
it's
any
not.
guy would have done that,
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, how
you would
was
have done that, right?
100%.
Yeah, you can't stand to pee.
Was she just a little bit cooler than like the average
It
toilet
just
seat?
smelled so good in there.
Yeah.
I just remember how good the bathroom smelled.
She just ravaged the
and I
bathroom.
just sat and I was like, "This is just where Emma Stone peed," and it
But
felt
you-
great.
But Emma then
Did she flush? That'd be nice if you peed on her pee. That would have been next
That would have
level.
been incredible.
imagine
but
she shit in the
flushed.
sink. How great would that would have been? You just go there, there's a turd in the sink. But she walked past us and was like, holy shit, Emma Stone. And then she came back because Tim was sitting with his back to us. But then when she came back out of the bathroom, she walked and looked at Tim and I saw I saw her go, ugh.
Yeah.
Like that. So it confirmed everything he said.
It could have
I
just
was
been
like,
the way
she does hate him,
It
which
could
is
have
awesome.
been just the way he was eating, just like.
What was their beef? Why the fuck would she?
Something with Tim, you know, because
I
Tim's
think Tim
hilarious.
fucked her husband.
Yes, Tim.
I think that's what happened.
No, Tim's hilarious on social media, and I think he was tweeting like, you know, hilarious shit, but maybe like shitting on an Emma Stone movie.
Yeah,
you know,
that happens.
You know, that's what just makes me think about celebrity. Is it worth it to just like, you know, Emma Stone, the poor girl, she just went into the bathroom to take a piss. And then there was this guy that went in there and just sat down and peed after her.
Yeah.
And I'm telling it on a big podcast. I'm sorry, Emma Stone.
Sorry, Emma Stone.
I'm sorry I did
You
that.
did nothing wrong.
I did nothing wrong,
Right.
I don't think. It's not, I didn't
Sitting
do
to
it.
feel a hot lady's body heat on the toilet.
Yeah, but it's
there's
creepy a
nothing-
little bit. No?
I'm sorry, I'm taking on my phone. I just want to make sure my hair's still good because these fans are just fucking
Your hair
unbelievable.
looks great, dude.
All right, we're
It's
good.
not-
dude.
It's
you
not
guys
creepy. I
can't
don't
stop
think it's
me.
creepy.
What I want
Right.
to do is hang an ornament right off that Christopher Reeves curl.
Yeah.
Just right there.
That would be actually
Yeah.
really
What do you
nice.
think of that?
That's nice.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
What do you
think of
Just
that,
a
dude?
mistletoe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just put it right there and then kiss him right on the fucking mouth.
Hold
Well,
on.
here, I just, by the way, I just looked out my phone to like, you know, like see my hair. And then I just looked at like a quick text and have a special coming out for Hulu in February. And I just got a text from like the person who like runs it, like, hey, we really need to have a conversation. So just call me when you can. I'm like, here we go. It's over, baby. It's over. There it is, folks. And it's gone. Yeah. Just like the way, you know, I just think it's done now. So this will be a fun next 30 minutes for me to just know it's
Just
done.
wait.
Just
Yeah.
waiting. And then calling her and then her not calling me back for a week.
That would
Yeah.
have been weird if it was Emma Stone who texted you.
Imagine.
Like, whoa. That would have been weird.
Yeah.
I want to. That's very funny. It's funny you have to sit with that for the next half an hour.
Yeah,
but
just deal with it.
Here's my thing. I don't think it's that creepy. That's like a mercy because it's creepy. Would have been like waiting right by the door to try to do like a rom com. Like, oh, sorry. Oh my god. Like,
Oh,
oh,
hey.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Hyenas.
Do I know you?
Yeah.
Yeah. She probably gets people that like want to take pieces of her hair, her skin.
Yeah.
If the worst thing about you,
Yeah.
you want to sniff her toilet seat after she goes to the bathroom, she might be like, we can actually go on dates.
I didn't sniff
Yeah.
her seat.
Not
though.
sniff. Not
Yeah.
sniff.
I
Feel
didn't-
her warmth.
Yeah.
Feel the warmth of her body.
You
on
would have
you.
done the same as what you're saying?
We're gonna waste it. You know, like, look, that's her body heat.
Yeah.
It's gonna just fade up, or you can just enjoy it before it gets like inducted back up.
There's
into
no
the
rule
fucking
against it.
atmosphere.
I had to go to the bathroom, and if it happens to be Emma Stone, and I want to just sit in your body heat, I'll do that.
And you didn't like jerk off.
No,
so
but
it's
I mean,
like-
But even if he would have, it's his. It's
his
I didn't do
business.
anything.
Yeah, it's
I
his
know.
space.
But I didn't do anything. But I have not bathed the bottom half of my body since.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just she's with me. I don't
That's
know
what
if
it
that's
is.
creepy. She's with me.
Yeah.
I mean, you did absorb her body heat. Part of her
Yeah.
does live inside of you.
I mean, I do hang out outside her house a lot and take photos, but
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
it.
different
That-
thing. That's
yeah.
public property. You know.
girls love that stuff, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
happy that you
persistent.
said that.
They do.
Because girls, as much as like the world we live in, where like, do not objectify me, feminism, they want you to tell them how hot they are at all times.
And you want they love like they'll be like that's so weird. But if they like say they took a dump and it kind of stinks, if you just stood in the bathroom and you're like, they're like, oh my god, get out of here. And you're
Yeah.
like, I fucking love that. And
I
I'm like,
fucking love it. Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
shit.
Dude, whatever. If, you know, when I wake up next to my girl, she's like, you know, I try to like kiss her good morning. She's like, no, stop. She has morning breath. And I just fucking burrow in there like a gopher. She loves it.
Yeah, dude, they love
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah, it's a thin line. It's a thin line between complimenting them and creepiness. It's a thin line.
Well, there's
Yeah.
actual in the stink of men and women. I think there's actual, what's the like term for aphrodisiac? Pheromones. There's actual pheromones in
Correct
that.
answer.
Yeah, boom.
200.
I don't know why your thing went off. It's
Yeah,
fucking
dude,
bullshit.
I think that's a fact. I think that's what we call on the History I Knew a truth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
That there's pheromones.
Yeah.
There's pheromones inside stench that actual like that's what you're supposed to have stinky sex.
I think so,
The
man.
best sex.
Are you sure, or
Scientifically.
is that just something Jim Norton told you because he likes to get
Yeah.
women shit on his
Yeah,
chest?
that's what Jim Norton told me after he was like, just drink this.
No, I agree. If I still to this day, if I smell like when
Shit?
women put on deodorant, but their body odor still comes through a little
it,
bit,
yeah.
that smell drives me like absolutely.
I
insane.
love a girl with pit smell.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's
Fucking
a little
love it,
bit
dude.
through the deodorant.
Yeah.
It's just like fuck. I love that.
Do you like a girl with a little bit of fumes?
Yeah, I honestly
Why not?
don't mind it. Yeah,
I don't mind it
Talking
at
about
all.
fumes?
Yeah, I don't mind a little bit.
You know,
Fumes.
Are you talking about coming
Talking
off a
about-
box?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
talking about little fumes.
It
fumes
depends.
or no
It
fumes?
depends on the fumes. I
Yeah.
prefer no. Here's the thing: I can take if it's like pungent, but just like kind of like bold
Right.
spices. But if there's the fish smell,
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Can't
but,
do that, man.
But there are girls, what we say on our show is there are girls though that we call swim throughs where you will swim through, they're so hot where you'll swim through fumes just to bang that. Like if Kim Kardashian had fumes, she'd be considered a swim through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd be considered a swim through for Rome. Meaning what we mean by that is you'd swim through her fumes just to bang her out. And then for Rome, meaning if we were living in ancient society, she would be taken for the Roman Empire, ripped away from her mom and dad, and she would be part of the harem of King Giannis.
That's how hot
That's
she
what
is.
it would
That's
be.
good.
Of
You
Emperor
go through
Giannis.
the- and you probably fix. That'd be nice to like take a girl like that and then fix her fumes. Back in Roman times,
Right.
Yeah. Now, but in Roman times that was chilled, and be like, dude, I'm gonna fix your fumes.
Dude, in Roman times, that was a real worry. Like, you fix your fumes.
It's like a shop in Rome and fix your fumes.
from the ground up.
Dude, in Roman times, that was a real worry. Like, imagine being a father and you know your daughter's like 16 and a smoke show. You're like, this girl's going to get taken for Rome. The emperor's going to come and take her when they come to our town. They're going to take her for the harem, and I can't do anything.
Yeah, and
couldn't
that's
do
just
anything about it.
nothing.
I know for a fact if I was an emperor, that's just unfortunately that's what I would do.
Yeah, well,
I would just roll around my chariot and go.
do you think
and I
though?
point.
But back then, I think it was kind of like if your daughters got snatched up by an emperor, you'd be like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" You'd high five your wife and be like, "We fucking did it."
Well, they did. If they snatch you up, according to the research we've done, if they've snatched up your daughter for Rome, which is a real thing, you would get a tax break. So it's like,
we're after all.
Yeah, you don't have to fucking hit taxes that year because we took your kid.
Yeah.
So what
we
are you
got
gonna
a
do?
deduction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do it for
Not
your
bad,
family.
dude.
Yeah.
It's a write-off.
That's a really great Republican platform.
Why not?
Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys want lower taxes? Give me your daughter.
Dude, I think Olympic athletes that win gold medals should pay no taxes for a
should.
lot. I think that's
true.
because you're not going to get any money. So my thing is like, if you win the gold medal for us, no taxes.
I like that idea.
Right?
And
I
you're on a
kinda- I
podium.
agree.
I think it's great.
That's
I
it.
agree.
Yeah,
I
dude.
didn't realize they get fucked over so bad.
Hell
you
yeah.
spend your whole life doing that, and then it's just like
Then they don't give a fuck
you get a
about you.
silver medal. I guess you can start like your own type of lessons back home.
You got to
Right.
be like a superstar. Like Simone Biles gets money.
Yes, Michael Phelps got real
But, like,
money.
paid.
Whoever gets the bronze medals and work there until he's not remembered.
and it's so impressive.
Yeah.
You're like, you're like the third best person in the world. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. So
Yeah.
they should. You're right. They shouldn't pay taxes.
Hell yeah, dude. That's my. And then I military shouldn't pay taxes, dude.
Yeah.
And I
Cops.
think if you did the right thing in November, you shouldn't pay taxes. And I did the right thing.
My opponent here, he thinks nobody should pay taxes. I believe that the government should pay for gender reassignment surgery. That's
What it is. Yeah.
That is
Yanni
my
goes
position.
left. Yanni
That'd be
is the
nice.
lefty.
I think that's my position.
Gender reassignment.
Dude, we
Yeah,
met with our driver
So
yesterday.
you can have something to jerk off to.
Yeah. Dude, our driver
I
yesterday.
saw that clip. Yeah. And ain't nothing wrong with it.
I'm off the porn.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Not at all.
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Sometimes
rare.
you just
Few and
look
far
and you go,
between.
I'm fooled.
I
I'm fooled.
know.
Sometimes the guy in a wig, you just go, you know what? I'm
I'm
fooled.
telling you, man, it's like you watch the porn and it's just like it just starts to be like, you watch it so much and you're like, what's this? And it's
Yeah.
just a new thing.
Well,
And
it's
then you go,
disassociation. Like Giannis was telling me yesterday. He
Yeah.
was like, and then you start to think about, how come my wife doesn't look like that? Why don't we do that?
Yeah,
And
I'm
then you
like,
start to
where's
think
your
maybe-
penis,
Oh,
baby? I
here's-
said that to her a few times.
Here's the eternal question. What would you rather do? So if you had to have sex with a straight up, Buck Angel?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like a dude with a pussy or a lady with a dick. Who would you rather?
Tranny.
Yeah.
I mean, can I do it quicker?
Yeah. It's
Crazy.
100%.
It's a weird. It's
I'll
a
even go
mind
one
bender.
further, like a hot, beautiful tranny with a great personality, because it's not all about the physical for every woman, or like a butchy lesbian or Roseanne O'Donnell. Trans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going
that's
trans.
You wouldn't take down like a stud.
And I'll just pretend if we're having sex that my penis was so big it popped out the other side.
Right.
So all you got to do is use your imagination.
Well, we watched a science video about the neuroscience of the brain. We watched this a few years ago where they said, from a scientific point of view, the highest climax, the best orgasm a man can have is when they're watching transgender porn, because the number one things, the 1 and 2 things that men are attracted to, most men, are big boobs and a big dick. So
That is the thing,
and that's
yeah.
heterosexual men.
Yeah.
We're not talking about gay men. We're talking
I know.
because a heterosexual man, even if it's not transgender porn, will fast forward subconsciously if the man's penis is not big enough while they're watching it, because we mirror everything.
Yeah.
So a big penis and big boobs theoretically would get the most excitement from the male brain, and that's a transgender person, and that's
it's-
another Truth Bader Ginsburg.
That's the truth. Big
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
It's subconscious, and it's just the way it is. And the truth is that gay guys don't watch that.
They don't like
Gay
it.
guys are not
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it.
they're not. It's-
Some of it's impressive. You're going
Yeah.
like, it's almost like impressive. It's like when you see like when a Puerto Rican soups up a car.
Yeah.
You're going like,
Yeah.
look what they did
Yeah.
with that fucking Honda.
The ground
Right.
effects.
Yeah,
right.
you're
I
like,
that.
going, this was a guy.
Yeah,
and
we're
look at
not-
what he turned. Look at the ribs he put on that. Look at those fucking ribs he put on that body.
You're not,
I
and you're
know.
not gay. Like I think we sit and think a lot. We're gay, and that's why it's great to be in comedy. I have gay friends, because I've asked Mateo Lane multiple times, "Am I gay?" And he said, "No, you're not gay. You're just feminine." But that's not gay.
It's not gay.
You're more like a woman than a man, but you're not attracted to men. And that's because you really don't know, man. As your brain starts to develop, you're like, I don't know, because
Yeah.
I will not immediately push a handsome man out of my brain. If he pops in while I'm masturbating, I'll let him hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's just being more of a woman, not a gay man. Because
Yeah, for
we've
sure.
said it many times, and Giannis is the one who discovered this, that I fall in love with men, but I have sex with women. And that's just who I am. But that's not gay.
kinda nice.
According to Mateo, who I would say is like, I mean, he's the top gay.
And they can tell. If you're gay, they can look at you and be like,
they know.
He's
for
told
sure.
me, dude.
I mean, but Chris did try to crawl in my bed last night.
I
Cuddle
did.
with me. Yeah.
Really?
He just
Because I just got a
does,
little freaked out because my TV wasn't working. I don't like sleeping in the dark, so I just knocked on Giannis's door and I said, "Can I just fucking post up in here?"
You guys chill.
Yeah. But I couldn't. But then I couldn't because his feet smell so bad. So I just
really
had. I'd rather sleep with the fear of Ted Bundy popping out of a closet. than
Well, that
smell
was
his
your
feet.
hetero kicking in, being
Yes.
like, just the smell is off, and you're like, what the fuck am I got to get out of here?
I got to get out of here, dude. Because if I was a real gay guy, then I would have just fucking went in and tried to,
You would have washed his feet. And then
Yeah.
blown
100%,
him.
dude.
Just
That would've
blown
been
him.
nice.
Made it work for me.
Quiet-
Yeah.
This is a quiet, slow blowjob.
But you're a big fan of history. Yeah, just a quiet, slow one.
That one made me like, I felt that one. A quiet, slow blowjob to your male friend. Like that literally, like it actually made me like pause. Like we're fucking around, but that one I had to be like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's like you grab onto the podium like, holy shit, Matt went crazy just now.
The quiet and slow is gayer than the blowjob. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. If you would have been like, a teethy blowjob, I'd be like, yeah, man, but quiet
Just a
and slow.
fucking manly one. Like, yeah,
That
dude.
one, like,
Yeah.
that's another one. I'll just probably think about that now.
It's like, the fuck are you doing, man?
You're gonna get a text from me like 4 a.m. Quiet and slow? Question mark.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Let's just jump into this. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It's playoff time, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Think Lamar Jackson will get more than 250 passing yards next week? Will Patrick Mahomes pass more than 1.5 TDs? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. I mean, oh man, Patrick Mahomes throwing those 1.5 TDs. I think he might be able to do it. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code DRENCHED to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DRENCHED on the Prize Picks app to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Now let's get back to the show. Also, guys, before we do, Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year. And with the new year, I am glad to announce we're out of the podcasting desert, man. We're, after this week, business as motherfucking usual. Thank you guys for, trudging through the podcasting desert with me. It was interesting. And, like I said before, it was a crucible situation. In a crucible, steel is melted down and reforged into sometimes a stronger, sometimes a weaker shape. But I'm excited to announce that anyway. I don't know. I'm very tired. I stayed up late last night and now I have to do advertisements. Let's get back to the show.
But we talk about this all the time, and you love history too. On our show, we talk about when you look back at history at all the empires, just the top guys like the viceroys and the emperors and all that, they just engaged. They took whatever was on the table, men, women, eunuchs, boys, and like
crazy.
they were the toughest dudes. Like Alexander the Great was like the most masculine guy, and that guy had a straight up boyfriend.
Yes.
He had boys.
He had an actual like lover. That was his. I can't remember his name.
I'm forget some Greek,
Vesuvius?
something Greek.
Yeah,
It
something.
was it was a battle boy. He
Yeah.
took a boy into
Yeah.
battle. It was like
Yeah.
a battle boy.
No, but it was he had one guy that was like his 13-year like partner, and when that guy
Partner.
died, he made it like a holiday. He
Yeah.
quieted. He was beside himself.
Damn.
And yeah, I think he just was in a great depression because he was in love with a guy.
There were no labels back
died.
then, though. That's the thing. It's like you being gay or straight was irrelevant. They didn't care
Yeah.
about that. It was like it was more of like, do you love your country and want to fight in war or not? But you being gay, they were like, we don't. That's not.
It was totally
everybody's
irrelevant.
banging guys, girls,
Yeah.
animals. It doesn't matter. So now, and because dude, even like the label of being gay, that's like 150, 200 years old. Even in Abraham Lincoln's time, nobody cared that the guy, who was it? The guy before him, James Buchanan.
Yeah.
He was like known gay. Never had a wife. They used to call him, they used to call his like guy that was always with them. I think they used to call him like Aunt Nancy or something like that, which is like a gay term back then. But like
Didn't care.
the people didn't care. His political opponents didn't slander him with that because they were like, nobody cares about this.
Yeah, that's
so
kinda wild.
it only came later in life, like, oh, being gay was taboo.
Well, it's crazy too that if you think about how strong gay must be to like fight through like biblical, like the Bible Belt stuff, and even I'm sure in medieval Christianity it was probably kind of frowned upon.
Oh yeah,
Like heavily. In Puritan times, like gay just like kept bubbling under the surface, and eventually was like, we're fucking gay.
We're
And the
just
whole
fucking
society
can't
had to be like,
choose it.
all right, our bad.
Yeah,
It's a strong driving force.
Listen to this. Like people are like, oh, Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg, or we say Pete likes it in the Buttigieg.
Yeah, he does. Unfortunately,
And I don't know why his political opponents, like if he ever went up against Trump, that was what Trump should say. Pete likes it in the Buttigieg. That would go viral.
That would be, dude.
He's gonna watch us to take that.
Yeah.
But my point is,
You can take it, dude.
People think that's so shocking that
You would
there's
never.
a presidential candidate who was gay. But when you look back at the Roman Empire, Trajan was a full gay dude. And he was like the best Roman. He was like one of the ones by historians that's considered to be like one of the best emperors. And he was just a gay guy.
Yeah,
he wasn't even into like, I'm going to marry my horse, or he was just loved Ben.
I love
Just a gay guy, and the clarity must be amazing to like not be just kind of like dealing with like a lady. Like if you're a gay, like and women are like blah blah blah, you're just like I for real am not doing this. We're immersed in like we're immersed in women's thoughts. If you have a wife and you're a straight guy, it's just like you're constantly just dealing with just whatever.
You know what?
Just a minor problem. That if you're a gay guy, that imagine if those problems never cross your radar.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't eat all day. Like, you have to be like, what the fuck?
You can get a lot done.
Yeah, you can really crush
You
it.
could look at Michelangelo and you're like, that guy got a lot done because he didn't have to listen to those people with smaller brains.
Yeah. Bill Burr has like a good bit, like paraphrasing about like if you see like a 35-year-old lesbian in a bar who's married and a 35-year-old married guy at a bar, straight guy, they have the same look. Like they're both angry, pissed off, but then a 35-year-old gay guy, like he was like, have you ever seen a sad gay man? And it's the truth. You have never
they're
seen
just
it. They're just always having fun, life of the party.
Dude, there is actually a kind of a dark element to just like, we used to do a comedy show in a gay bar.
Right.
And they were so mean to the female comics.
Good.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
they are.
fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
It, like a lady was on, they'd be like, "Boo, honey, you stink," and like I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruthless. They can get kind of nasty.
Yeah, they can get really nasty. You know what I just thought of? You know what's really funny to think about? Michelangelo, fully gay guy,
Sure.
painted the Sistine Chapel. All the people that come in and pray, like, hate homosexuals. But like the biggest Christian icon in the world was made by a flaming $3 bill. I think that's like kind of poetic justice for the gay community.
It's also, imagine him just drawing all those beautiful baby penises too.
Oh, yeah.
Just you need the master.
Yeah.
Like, do you think after he sculpted David, when he just because that penis is like remarkably small, he did it like this?
Yeah,
Just gave it a kiss on the ball, just bang, magnificent.
Just create it.
Yeah,
God, it's a masterpiece.
That is a good point you bring up. It's mostly baby penis that he was painting.
Yeah. And all the popes came in, they're like, fucking perfect, bro.
You know that was You know that was started by some powerful dude with a small dick, and he was like, "Everyone's dick's gonna be small. Yeah, I don't want anyone to see." Because people probably saw each other's dicks all the time. They only had togas on, so when they sat down, I mean, they didn't have underwear yet.
No, and you had to live communally a lot. A lot of people just lived in the same one big room. So this whole taboo of like sex is in private wasn't really a big thing back then. Like kids would watch their parents have sex as if they would watch a guy work out or whatever. They were like, it's just we all live amongst each other.
Yeah, we're like, get out of the way.
You ever see how they shit in those old Roman latrines where it was just like they all shit together? It was public toilets, and they would hang out, and it was social for them. They'd shit next to each other.
What about toilet paper? What would they use?
That's the thing. I think they used water.
They used
just
wash your ass with some
I think
water.
they used leaves. I think they used
Yeah,
water.
they didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
Even
The
like
hair of a eunuch.
Dude,
Yeah.
medieval London was the same. If you had to take a shit, you were supposed to like walk out of town and like shit off the bridge, and it would just fall in the river.
Yeah.
But if you like got caught dumping your thing, they would like really fuck you up.
Yeah.
They would the butchers too would just throw entrails out into the street every day. So you'd walk and there'd just be like rotting fucking animal carcasses.
Downtown Manhattan,
Right.
Like that famous like lake. Remember down?
Oh, yeah, the,
old Brooklyn,
the-
old Manhattan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Collect Pond.
Yes.
That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Collect
What would they do?
Pond.
All the butchers, all the human waste.
gangs in New
butchers.
York time.
Yeah, gangs in New York time.
Yeah.
There was just this disgusting lake that had all the waste from animals and butchers.
They would do it.
It just, we always say history stank. I mean, it just, you can smell, when you think about what history must have smelled like.
It just
It was Teddy
started television.
Roosevelt who was the one that changed it all. Teddy Roosevelt instituted like the sanitation department and would come guys dressed in all white, like we got to clean this up. Because, dude, the idea of like a germ being discovered that was the Louis Pasteur, that wasn't that long ago.
No, you know who actually discovered germs before Pasteur? There was a guy. He was a doctor in like I forget where he was, somewhere in like maybe Belgium or somewhere, and they were doing this thing. I was just talking about this last night. so back then they would deliver the babies. You know, a lot of babies died. So like there was like where they put the dead babies was really close to where they delivered babies. So doctors would be handling dead babies constantly. Like, all right, here you go. And be like, all right, let me deliver this baby. So they're transferring like dead fetus germs to living fetus. And it was killing like 50% of the babies. Right. And then this one doctor was like, dude, I think there's like stuff getting on our hands from these dead babies. And he started washing his hands with like a solution of whatever chemicals, and the infant mortality rate went down to like only like 7% of the babies were dying. Or whatever.
Interesting.
And then he tried to tell the other doctors about it, and they were like, nonsense. We're doctors. And doctors are gentlemen, and gentlemen are always clean. And then they like told this guy he was crazy. He went into an insane asylum and he died. Yeah. Wow. And then they eventually figured out like, fuck.
That he was true.
Wow. He was totally right.
Infant mortality rate, like when people, you think like, oh, from the 1500s, 1600s, oh, we would have been dead by 35, 40, but that's not true. Like Benjamin Franklin, these guys lived to their 70s and 80s. It was it would say life expectancy of a male back then was whatever 45, but it's because of the infant mortality rate. That's what science doesn't tell you. It's because so many babies were dying at 1 minute old that it brings your average down. But if you passed childhood, most likely you were going to live to your 70s and 80s like we are today.
That's crazy.
So we don't live much longer. It's just we don't die as babies as much because back then, no processed food, working with your hands, out in the sun, all those things.
That makes sense. That's crazy because I've been thinking about that nonstop, being like, damn, if it was like 200 years ago, I'd have been dead. Like I'm.
No, you most likely. Well, you might have died as a child if somebody put some dead baby juice on you.
But people did die of like viruses, germs.
Yeah,
you get a fever and you're done.
So. A lot of wives died in childbirth. Yeah, it was really normal to have like 3 wives just from like your first 2 dying. Yeah,
right.
The weak definitely still kind of got. It was more animalistic in the way that, if you had a weak immune system, you were going to go.
Yeah, you're out.
Nowadays, there's a lot of weak people walking around. Yeah, myself included.
Yeah. Imagine trying to talk to somebody in the 1700s about your mental health as a guy. They'd be like, what?
It'd be
what
crazy.
if the British are coming? Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, would stab you with a bayonet.
I think it was improper to even like bring it up. I think you had like a couple, although I do like the letters people wrote each other in history. That's something we got to start back up. Just writing
beautiful.
Like, beautiful letters, long letters to each other.
Instead of calling depression, they said, I'm suffering from melancholia.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, they did it better. Nobody has a better joke about that than Greg Giraldo. You ever see that Greg Giraldo joke? He's like, back in the day, would be like, some soldier would be like, dearest Martha, I miss please kiss the children on the forehead and your visage. I miss your visage with every battle. And then now he goes to the letters now like, dear Marie, don't fuck nobody. I'll be back. It's changed.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
I mean, dude, Josephine's and Napoleon's letters are. I mean, talk about stench. Napoleon is saying, "I can't wait to smell your bush." You said, "Get your pube," like basically paraphrasing, but he said, "I want your pubes when I get there. I want your bush as big as possible, and I don't want you to take a shower." And he would come in, feral, and he needed to bang her out with like the stinkiest pussy she could possibly have, so she would not bathe. Like if she knew he was coming, she wouldn't bathe for like 5-6 days and just let the bush go because that's what he wanted.
Wild boy,
dude. Look up if you're into that. Look up the letters between Josephine and Napoleon. They are wild,
just totally horny,
like
letters.
Wild, dude.
Damn, requesting the big stinky bush is like pretty out.
He wanted it.
Like,
he wanted it big time.
I want that thing lost.
Yes, he wanted it, dude, and that's just how he's.
Guys at the top always have some peculiarity about them.
Yeah, for sure.
And here's the thing about Napoleon: he actually wasn't that much of a squeak.
He wasn't that squeak as a little guy under 5'6".
Oh, yeah, because everybody was kind of short.
He was like 5'7" or 8.
You know what that was, right? It was British misinformation. What the British did that on purpose. There was a writer, I'm blanking on his name, but he wrote when the British were fighting the French that let's make Napoleon, because nobody really knew back then, let's just do all these political cartoons of him being really short. But so it's not like he was over, like George Washington was legit 6'5".
Yeah,
he was tall. Yeah. Lincoln was tall. But Napoleon wasn't tall like that, but he just was a normal height. Yeah. So this whole idea of like Napoleon complex, there's truth in that, but he didn't suffer from it because he wasn't short enough. He was an average height for that guy.
Bullshit.
Yeah, dude, fucking bullshit.
Just lets you know, man, like a lot of the stuff in history is just not true.
It's just misinformation.
It's just
misinformation. Dude, even
it's fake news.
It's fake news. Trump's not wrong with that.
Dude, he really did blow the lid off. I mean, I remember watching the news when I was like 20, but I was always like very stoned all the time, and I was like, dude, this shit is fucking fake. But like, then I would still like read the headlines and like, there's got to be some modicum of truth to it. And then like, he really did blow the lid off that. No, dude, I was like, oh shit, we are being all lied to.
Yeah. Dude, I read this book. I read 1776, and then this book, The British Are Coming. And they basically were saying that even the Declaration of Independence, that was all made up by the founding fathers. They created this idea of like, oh, we want to be free from the British and independence. But like that wasn't when the Revolutionary War started. It was all the people were saying was, we just want to be taxed. If we're going to be taxed, we just want to be represented in Parliament. That's it. Because we don't want the British to leave. Because if you think about, put yourself in the mind of a colonist back then, besides like a select few like wild patriots, but most of the
Hold
colonists.
up, I just got instantly racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in there.
He's like, oh yeah, okay.
Put your mind in it as a colonist.
You
Yeah,
go
get-
sit over there and don't talk.
Yeah,
All right,
get some
sorry.
guys in chains.
Yeah, I was just listening to
But-
your instruction.
Yeah.
About to go
And
outside-
what's
you're about
this
to go-
Mexican doing? All right,
Yeah.
sorry.
They didn't even know what that was
Sorry.
back then.
Jesus, look at this dirty Irish mick. They're all drunk. Sorry.
You're about to go outside and handle business.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm hating myself. You dirty fucking Greek.
Yeah.
You Greek shit.
But
You
the-
white N-word. Sorry.
That's okay.
I put myself in the mind of a colonialist.
That's what it is. Yee.
It just got the super stream. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time you'd look at him, and if you were back then, we'd be like, this fucking dirty Irish.
Yeah, dude, they were
Yeah.
the most racist against the
I
Irish
know, they were
in,
pretty bad.
in New York.
They were bad. They were terrible though. When you read about like what they were up to, you're like, God, those
Disgusting.
guys must have been fucking terrible.
Oh God, coming
Dude,
off the
and
docks.
I was reading Angela's Ashes, and like it's so sad. The first chapter, just like the author introduces his family. His little sister dies just like in a stroller by herself at nighttime. The family's like, they're just all devastated. So they go back to Ireland and they're on a boat. The mom's on the boat. She's pregnant again. And she gets sick. And as they're looking at the Statue of Liberty, she's explaining it to her family. She's like, and look how beautiful this is. And then she goes, and threw up. And it just, the vomit just misted in the wind and just went on all the other passengers. And they're all like, you fuck, God damn it, lady,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Fuck you.
And he just watched seagulls eat his mom's vomit as they like sail away.
It's beautiful.
It is kind of beautiful in
Yeah.
a way, but it was the spray of just being like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Just crushing all the passengers.
Dude, so these colonies, they would they just wanted to be taxed, right? They just wanted to be represented by Parliament. But back then, they were like, if you were a colonist, you wanted the British because you had to the north the French, who at that point wasn't on your side, and they would kill you and take your land. And then to the south, Spain, who definitely didn't like you.
Yeah.
And then to the west, Native Americans, who absolutely despised you. And the only thing stopping those three people from coming to kill you were the British.
Oh, wow.
Because they were like, we're one of the you do not fuck with Britain. That's a
Yeah.
British subject. So, but then the war is going on, 1775, whatever. All the soldiers, they did 9 months, but they were like, dude, we got to go home. We're going to lose to these British fucks. We got to go home because we got our farms. We got to take care of our farms. Our wives are dying. Who knows? We have to go back. And they just started leaving in droves. So Washington, Thomas Paine, Common Sense was like a pamphlet, like the first viral thing that ever happened. George Washington told Thomas Paine, dude, you're like a great writer. Why don't you can you make up something to like galvanize these guys to come back? So they came up with, what if we change this messaging from taxation without representation to let's be free from the tyrannical Brits. Let's just be free from these fuckers. Don't you hate them? And then that messaging started to get into people's minds. And then next thing you know, they're fighting the British. And they're like, this is not even what we wanted, but we just believed the fake news. And then obviously, as you know, Benjamin Franklin had to go over to Paris and bang some of King Louis's concubines to get in Louis's ear, and then he convinced the French to get into the war because the French hate the British more than anybody, and then we won. Yeah. But that was not, so it was fake news. How
That's
it started. So
crazy.
that's what these books said.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was the last time the French were tough.
Yes.
That was the
Yeah.
end.
Dude, they got
After that,
fucking steamrolled
they
in
got
World War II.
fucking
Big.
Yeah.
rolled
We got to
over.
talk about that for another day, but the French got absolutely fucking field goal kicked in World War II, and they were the number one seed. They were the number one army in the
they
world.
were killing it for a while, but they would always bankrupt themselves. That was a problem. Everything I've read about French history is them being like, all right, how much money do we have? And they're like, nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Dude, and another
God damn it.
another fun fact history with the French, like Dunkirk, when they got like steamrolled in Dunkirk
Yeah.
and they almost lost everything, whatever. I read something that said of course, Germany was this crazy army on a mission, whatever, but Hitler would not allow the German soldiers to get prostitutes, or if you got caught masturbating or drinking, you could take the Panzer chocolate, which was crystal meth. So they allowed meth, but no banging prostitutes and no masturbating and no alcohol, because he wanted like a fucking tip-top army, where the French were encouraging prostitution and were encouraging you to like be free, sexually free. And supposedly there was sexual STDs running rampant through the French army those last 6 months before the Nazis took over them. And these guys were like fighting with like active chlamydia and VD, where the Germans were just coming in fully loaded cocks on crystal meth, ready to steamroll.
Damn.
And that's like a big part of like why they just beat the shit out of everybody. But then as the war went on, the crystal meth, obviously you can't take that for so long.
Yeah.
Then even Hitler, you started to go nuts.
Yeah. It's just like
Fuck
rock and roll.
yeah.
They had better drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
true.
best bands had better drugs.
Oh, dude,
That's
having
what they
like
say.
meth psychosis in like World War II as like a Nazi soldier must have been
Dude,
crazy.
imagine coming out of that. A lot of Nazi soldiers killed themselves when they got back to Germany because they were like, not only does the world hate us, but like I didn't want to do this. I was on meth, and I killed all these people and did all this shit, and I'm done. And then they killed themselves.
Yeah, I don't think you could. I think you can't do war without drugs.
You have to be on a little.
Yeah,
bit.
I think so. I think it's you're just ripping Addies and now and I
You got to be a real psychopath to just go sober.
Sober.
Yeah.
It's hard to do like stand up without a couple drinks.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. A guy facing death. He's like, "No, dude, I got 13 days sober.
Yeah.
You guys drink,
Dude, I mean,
like, we're
this
going
is
to die.
What do you think this is? This is
Exactly.
drugs, dude.
Exactly.
This is I'm on using a drug right now.
Yeah, I needed it today, really. But yeah, I think a lot of it too is just nicotine. I think they're just crushing fucking nicotine pouches.
Yeah.
Probably like 500 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Yeah,
That's it.
There's a nice story about World War II.
nothing that would chill them out. That's for sure.
No.
What?
They weren't sitting there
No,
microdosing mushrooms.
I think when they get back, a lot of them do actually, but not when they're there. But there was a story I read about World War II where I think the Nazis were in Italy, I think, at some point, and they were like, they came to the bridge, like, Dante's whatever Inferno. Or
Sure.
whatever. So it was the bridge from the book where he first laid eyes upon Beatrice before she died. And it's an actual bridge there in Italy, and the Nazis, they could have blown the bridge up to keep like the Americans, whoever, like off their ass. So they radioed, they had some sort of communication. They were like, look, we won't blow up Dante's bridge where he saw Beatrice because it's such a beautiful place. You guys got to promise to do like a 20-minute timeout. And they were like, all right. And the Americans chilled for like 20 minutes.
Really?
Let them cross the bridge, and they didn't blow it up. And then they used it 20 minutes later and like pursued them.
Wow.
It was just like a weird moment in the middle of like war where they're like, dude, that fucking bridge
Well, that's
is
like
so
World
sweet.
War One. You ever seen that story about the French and the British on Christmas Day? They're sitting there in the trenches. They're there for a year. Each side has moved up like 50 yards max. They're in there. There was no man's land. It was called where like it was all like mines and everybody would just die there. So Christmas. I forgot which side, but one of them basically called a timeout, and they all went out to no man's land and had Christmas dinner together, drinking, eating, and then they went back December 26th and started killing each other
What
again.
the fuck?
It's a fascinating thing in World War One.
Yeah,
Christmas dinner. Yeah.
It's got to be so nice.
Yeah, just hang out. You're like, this is just a regular guy. I don't hate this
You got
guy.
to shoot him the next day.
And the next day you're just blowing his foot. Yeah.
It just lets you know how big propaganda is in war. You need it. Like you just
Yeah.
need it to be like, look at these dirty Japs. So you just need it. Otherwise, guys are going, why am I killing these people?
Yeah, you're
Look at this guy.
committing mass murder.
Yeah.
So you have to.
Or
like-
dude, you didn't even bang your girl, or like
I know.
get the TV show you wanted.
It is.
yeah.
It's a weird on and off switch 'cause in the
You have
society.
no reason to kill this guy.
No, you have in society you have to control murder. Then every now and again you got to be like, you know who kind of sucks actually?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what if we just killed that whole country and everyone's like, get your fucking
Yeah. Or like the Japanese, like the emperor was just like, guys, if you fly your planes into the sides of this, fly your planes into the sides of the American boats, I can personally, I'm the emperor, dude. I guarantee you're getting into heaven. You can have whatever you want. And they're like, yeah, and just did it. But that emperor is like, fucking dude, I don't know. Yeah.
Our politicians know our weakness. All you got to do is like a little fake attack on us.
Yeah.
A little something like, and that gets us.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor, 9/11.
The
We'll
drones, that's why I
attack
think-
anyway. They'll be like, we're going to this country. They didn't have anything to do. And they're like, just fucking kill people.
One of our
Yeah.
boats, one of our fucking boats.
Nobody
Are they
was
serious?
like, wait a second. Why are we going to Iraq?
Yeah.
Everyone was just like, go.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was a total
Yeah.
green light. Everyone thinks we're gonna. I've heard people, I should say, who think we're gonna go to war with China. Like that's inevitable.
Yeah. Well,
That'll be
they're flying their
crazy.
drones right now over my house.
Dude, honestly, dude, if I was the president,
What is going
I don't
on?
know.
if I was the president, I would just go to war with Portland.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Portland would
I
be
would just
nice.
say, get these guys out of here.
Dude, my theory is World War III, if we were all being smart, we should stop fighting kind of like, between countries and have just all attack the oldest, like the elderly.
Yeah.
Right.
Just plunder the elderly.
Get them
across
outta
the
here.
world, Get them out of
If
here.
you gotta
and then
get
we'll
your
have, like, a
bloodthirst,
break.
yeah.
Exactly. We all plunder. We all make a deal like, look, let's just use all these advanced technologies we've created to absolutely plunder the elderly.
Do you think we're going to come together as a planet and fight whoever's controlling the drones, like these drone things? You think like the aliens? You think the alien invasion, this project, Blue Light or Beam Light, whatever?
I don't know.
Blue Beam.
I've heard
That's
of
what
it.
everyone's
Blue
saying.
Book? I think it's called Blue Book.
Blue
think
Beam.
it's
Blue Beam.
Blue Beam.
Yeah, where it's like the alien, like where the countries are staging an alien attack, and they're going to say that these drones are going to get attacked by aliens and come together against a common good.
That would be great.
I've heard that theory.
Common
that
enemy on
They're
that.
going to use it to do like a one world government situation.
You think so?
I mean, yeah, people get mad. I always say this, but I do think like that kind of setup, or that, I don't know, man. I don't know if we'll always be countries or if that unification will ever happen where we're like, because I mean, they have the EU now.
Right.
So all it would take is like the U.S. and I don't know, man.
You got to
People
do it
get
with
really
language.
whacked out about it.
You got to unite people with. There's too many languages, dude. It always
Yeah.
works. Language, religion.
Yeah,
you gotta
true.
do-
But they'll
What
have-
should we
they'll
go
have
with? We
Google
go English
Translate.
1, Chinese 2.
I mean,
No.
dude, it
What do you
would
want to
be-
go 3?
the most beautiful ones: English, Spanish, French.
Chinese is out.
Chinese
Let
out.
them learn French.
Yeah, you don't want
All
to be
right.
like, I don't.
They can do it. Yeah, they can do it.
They can do it. They're smartest people,
Yeah,
smartest humans.
Let's just
them
be
and
honest.
Ashkenazi Jews.
Yeah, the Romance languages are the best sounding
Right.
languages when you don't speak them.
They
You're
are.
like,
They're
I'd
nice.
like to speak that.
They
language.
are pleasant.
Yeah, when I hear Hebrew, I'm like, I don't want to speak that language.
It's harsh.
Yeah.
Hebrew's
When I
harsh.
went to Sicily,
Out.
dude, I was fucking rock hard 24 hours a day
Oh,
just
yeah.
listening to people speak.
Dude,
Yeah.
French as well, man. I've always I'm like the French accent kills me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to
Well,
fucking
so
French.
serious. Yeah, it's
Qu'est-ce
like-
que c'est?
Oh, yeah.
Je sais pas.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing: if that happened, even if they staged a fake alien attack and we got to be like with like Russia, like, come on, brother, let's shoot down these
Yeah.
fucking aliens, that would be fun.
That would be.
How much better than COVID would that be? Being like, we're fighting the aliens
Yeah.
together.
We'd lose so quick if it was a real thing, though.
Yeah,
I mean, dudes that can come here like light years.
I
and
know.
we're
We'd
just
be
like,
done.
pow, pow.
Yeah.
That's what our guns would sound like to them. Pow.
Yeah.
Pow. And they'd just be like,
Well, this is
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
argument for that. If you're able to get to that level of technology, I do think there's a good chance that you would have worked out the weird interpersonal kinks that would make you like a weird kind of like
Yeah.
domineering warlord.
But they may look at us like cattle, though, and be like, they may look at us like ants or something, but like not even have that compassion because they're like, look at these stupid.
That's true too.
Yeah, they're like doing podcasts. They're talking. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, they
They're
may
probably
do that.
digging the cast.
They probably
Yeah,
dig
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That might be
nice.
the thing that they like.
If you could hear, they're probably smart enough. Imagine if you could like just watch ants and like get a full in-depth look into like what
That's
they're thinking
true.
and feeling all day. This is awesome.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't think the drones are sniffing for nukes, though. That was a big theory too.
Big
Yeah.
thing
I
they
think
said there's
so.
nuke sniffers.
And even if they are, I don't think the drones will. I don't think the nuke will go off because it's in America. I think the nuke knows, like, I'm home. This is where it created me. I can't
Yeah,
kill my
I
father.
know so. Or
I think the nuke
Yeah.
will do a quick scan and say there's not enough Japanese people here. I can't go off unless there's a certain percentage.
It's what
Just kidding around.
They don't have a
obviously.
wish
Yeah,
machine,
true.
but
I'm just kidding around.
Yeah,
Because
we're
our
just
nuke has
joking. It's a
AI.
character piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably AI now. It's probably full. The nuke's probably conscious. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But like it was created here, so like the nuke kind of knows. Like
What do they think the
I gotta
drones
kill
are
my
going to
father.
set? Yeah, they think they're going to set off the nuke or something.
they think the drone's sniffing for the nuke
Where it is.
to where it is to find it.
Oh, okay. So
Because
then
the
they
issue
can-
is the nuclear weapons now supposedly have more power than Hiroshima, and they can be fit in a suitcase.
I've heard. Yeah,
So that's the issue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know. I had a guy on recently. He did James Fox. He did like multiple documentaries on UAPs and UFOs and stuff. And he's like, I mean, he's totally convinced. He's like, dude, we've been contacted multiple times. But I don't know. It's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? It's like, if you're
Right.
worried about an alien invasion, it's like, bro, you're totally powerless.
I have no fear of that for some reason.
I have zero. Even nuclear war. I'm kind of like,
whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't worry about it. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I was like,
If it's
I hope
gonna happen.
hope it doesn't happen. But I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, knock it off.
Yeah.
You should really rethink this. But it's like, it would suck if it didn't. Like, if it was like it put us in like a wasteland scenario. But then it's like we get to all Dune out, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, then the whole world will just look like 6th Street.
Yeah.
Right here in Austin.
You can go there and practice for
Yeah,
like, the end of the
exactly.
world.
This is why we come to Austin, dude. We're practicing for the new world.
God, what a dump at night that street is.
Yeah.
It's
That'll
a-
be huge if we somehow, if they can use the aliens to make us somehow like all disarm like our nuclear weapons, but like no one's gonna want to do it first. They're gonna be like,
You know what would happen though? The aliens would have us disarm the nuclear weapons, and then we would just go back to medieval warfare like 20 years later. We would just start attacking the regular way, which that would suck.
yeah, no, we could still drop big bombs. They just couldn't
Okay,
have-
but just
then
no
it's-
nukes.
But when you're like murdering each other, you're gonna get the edge. It's like it's
Right.
a catchy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they say aliens only started showing up after the first nuke went off. There were no alien sightings before 1945.
That's what the guy James Fox was saying. It was like they're a lot of the sightings around military stuff have always been. And then I was like, well, what if it's just like super advanced technology they're not talking about? He's like, I mean, even that is like a whole thing in itself. He's like, it could be, but
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Lazar, I believe that guy Bob Lazar saw all that stuff years ago. I was
Yeah.
telling everyone about it.
they're claiming they can do like full speed right angle turns, just like whoosh, like that.
Yeah.
He said there was a pilot that like saw like a silver kind of like almost like cylinder object just buzzing around, and he like did a nosedive to come down to see what it was, and he said the thing spiraled up towards him, and then when he kind of like he like tried to contain it, it just was gone, and then they had like a latitude longitude, and he was like when he got to the latitude longitude, it was just there, just like waiting for him.
Yeah.
Rogan just posted yesterday on his Instagram, like to explain like this footage, and it was like this unedited footage, and it's just two orbs,
Yeah.
like that just happened, I guess, last night, and they just the way they shoot off into space is not, and it, Rogan's saying this is unedited footage, this is real.
Yeah, the problem is like Well, there's like two things. Is you could fake that so easy. You could fake
I
that,
guess you could, yeah.
but there's all these like high level military guys coming out and being like,
Yeah.
no, for real, I saw it. So like, why would they risk their?
They either don't
credibility?
care about us, they're looking at us like we would look at ants and go like, well, what do we
Yeah.
care? Or they're jerking off to us.
That's
Because think about it, when you
Exactly.
jerk off to something shameful and then you just jet, you like leave. Like so maybe they're just taking it out, they're wanking
Yeah.
it, and then the commander's like, where were you? And like he clears the search history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ones who die are like the people who get caught like autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, he's out there jerking off
Yeah.
to humans.
Yeah.
He crashed.
Yeah.
Because it's the only thing. They come and then they bounce. So what are they doing?
I don't
What are
know.
they doing, man?
I don't know. I don't
They're either
know.
totally disinterested or it's a fetish. It's a kink for them.
Yeah, or like I said, I just I hold out hope, being like, dude, if you get that advanced, you must like. There's no way you get that advanced when you're still like kind of self-destructive
That's what I
and
think.
all that. I think they might be pretty chill.
Yeah.
Right.
I think one of the big things they probably, to get that advanced, I think they have no shame. Because I think the thing that holds humans back is shame.
Yeah.
Shame. It's like,
Yeah, but it's
all
also
our anger comes from shame and it's all projected out.
Yeah, but shame's pretty good though, because it keeps like you should have a sense of like if you do a certain thing, like there's going to be a bad feeling accompanying it.
Yeah.
If I went home and like blew my dog and just like took a walk, that's a problem for society. I
That's
need
a
to be like, what
solid,
the fuck
solid
am I-
point.
It's a good
Shame's
point.
not
Solid
bad.
point.
Shame's not a bad thing.
What
It's
I
a bad
said was
rep.
wrong.
Yeah.
Because you just made a solid point.
You need it,
Yeah.
dude. Shame is a good.
Yeah.
It's like the beginnings of your conscience. It's just your conscience, but it's like if you kind of get carried away with it, you can burden yourself with it.
Yeah.
But like having no shame is not good.
Not good. People might go far in life with no shame, but it's
True.
not.
It's not good. It's not good.
You gotta have a balance. You gotta be like, turn off the shame for certain things.
Yeah.
And then turn it back on when you're gonna blow your dog. Or you're gonna just, take a kid into a fucking harem and drink their blood. You want to turn the shame off for that. Yeah.
Just slow blowing your dog.
You want to turn the shame. Yeah, you want to turn the shame all the way up at a giddy party, and then you want to just turn it off when you're fucking hitting the stage. Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it.
Dude, the slow blow is it's really, dude. It's just gonna be a quiet, slow blow job to a male friend is gonna be something that I might honestly bring it up on Rogan and just ask his assessment.
You would love that.
Yeah.
What, man? What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah. I know. I remember the last time I went on, I was saying how attracted I was to this trans actress on the show Baby Reindeer, and thinking like he was going to be like, back and forth, and he just went, ugh, it's disgusting. And then he just started talking about alligators. I was fucked.
Once you
doesn't
hear
fuck around.
dude.
Yeah,
fuck
dude. Whenever I've done that show, once he starts talking about grizzly bears, I know I'm
You're
bombing.
done. You're bombing.
Yeah.
You're bombing.
It's like, you know what, man? You just got to cook it before trichinosis sets in, man. And I'm like, okay, I'm boring you. Yeah.
So that's the sign.
Yeah.
It is for real, dude. I'm like being genuine. The ability his ability to sit there for 3 hours and talk, it's uncanny.
Crazy.
I don't know
After an
anyone else
hour,
who can do it.
I can feel an hour in me, and I go, all right, I've hit an hour, and I start going, all right.
Yeah, and he does that, by the way, 3 times a week. It's not like he does it once a week.
Yeah.
It's for real. Like it's pretty nuts.
He's
Yeah.
such a busy guy. I think that's how he schedules in his socializing.
It's a good
Because
move.
he's so busy, man.
It's a good
Smart.
move. After you podcast a lot, it does kind of suck when you socialize. You're like, dude, I should be getting paid for this right now.
Yeah.
Why am I wasting my time?
Yeah, I'm like, why am I giving gems to these people at dinner when I could just be doing that on a Patreon?
I'm out with my neighbors. I could just be man on the street right now. I'm just generating content.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we were literally talking to our driver yesterday, and because he was like a liberal guy from Texas, so we were like going crazy.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe that we finally met one, whatever. And he was like an older guy, and we're having fun, whatever, talking. And I was recording the whole thing. I was like, oh, this would be good on Patreon. And then at the end, when he's dropping us off, he says like the address of where we are, and then Hyenas like, oh, we probably shouldn't post that, dude. He just said the address, and the guy was like, are you recording me? And then I slowly put down, I was like, no. But it's fun. The last bit we have, he goes, are you recording me? And then, so you can see that at patreon.com/historyhyenas. We've already posted that puppy.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Just doing Veritas on fucking.
Yeah. So we're like, that's actually like a crime, but we're just willing to do it if you give us $5 a month.
No, it's like investigative journalism, Project Veritas. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
That shit was awesome.
Awesome.
When they got guys being just give
Yeah.
a guy one martini and he'd be like, dude, I'm so fucking horny, dude. All this stuff in COVID's fake. Did you see those videos?
Oh, yeah. I don't
You'd
know
be
if those
dude,
were
we're
real, though. Were they real?
I think so.
I think they are real.
Dude, if you get a guy, you can crush. Like, dude, if you like just go on like LinkedIn profiles and just have like a hot chick, be like, I'd love to come out and talk to you. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And like, dude, we're like making up half these fucking. And it was just like, there's a guy. He claimed that they were making variants so that they could get ahead of them, so they could create vaccines for ones they made up.
But here's the issue.
He validated. He said that. So they're like,
That's wild.
COVID's out there, and they're like, well, what if we made a thing like it, got the vaccine for it, and then that way we're already ready if something like that strikes.
But to Chris's point, this is why I don't think it's real, and it's probably like a setup, like you're going to be this guy, because it is illegal. So like, if that really happened, the guy would be like get in trouble. It's
Yeah,
illegal.
but
You
it's
can't
like
do
a
that.
gray area with the journalists, though. I think journalists can do that somehow.
Can they?
I don't know.
Well, maybe it's illegal and maybe they're actively suing them, but the whole it's out anyway.
out
and maybe
anyway.
eventually
Yeah.
they'll take it down.
Yes,
But
this is some of
maybe
my
they're willing to
favorite-
suck to take the lawsuit on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to say it.
It's a
But
weird.
it's also a
weird
criminal
territory.
offense, though, isn't it?
I
don't know
don't
if it's
know.
criminal.
I don't
I don't know
know.
if it's criminal.
I don't know. That's a good question because I know you can't record a phone call without the other person's consent.
Right. So I would assume that it would be
Which
in
I've
person.
also done a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But
And just posted it. Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. But
Yeah.
but you can. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird gray area because I feel like journalists have to be able to do that. Like whistleblowers and shit do it all the
I
time.
think probably if you do it, then maybe I don't know anything, but maybe
Dude, the
you get
laws are like what? Like if you any law, like if you've ever, when you were single, if you've ever like paid for a girl's Uber to come over to your house and then you guys have had sex, you Uber home, you've technically sex trafficked her.
True.
Like that's all real.
It
you
is.
know?
But yeah, but you have to trick her. You have to be like, yeah, which
Right.
you know that is. There's some trickery there always.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, like let's watch a movie. We're not really. I don't want to watch the movie. with you.
Yeah, that's true.
I think though the problem becomes if she comes over and you bang her, and then other guys come over and bang her.
Did you
too.
see that shit in France?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
50. We were watching
50.
on the plane.
Bro,
We-
watching on the
so what,
news.
we couldn't hear. What's the thing? 50 guys are going down for.
I think a guy was just kind of like this is what Diddy was getting accused of with Cassie or whatever her name is, Cassidy.
Yeah.
Saying like he would just be like, imagine you took your wife out to a nice dinner and then like when you got home you're like, surprise, babe, and there were just like 4 dudes there and she's like, I don't really feel like it. And he's like, no, it's going down. And he would just allegedly have her get kind of banged out.
Wow.
And I think the French guy was going ham with it at the same setup where he'd be like, surprise. And it was just like 4 dudes. I'm not going to say his bros. I don't know if they're his bros or not, but it'd be like 4 or 5 dudes would just
Yeah.
run the
Banging
fucking,
out his wife.
Yeah, just banging. And it was like apparently 50 dudes got caught.
And he's a
doing it.
real wealthy like celebrity in France. This kind of guy.
I guess so. Yeah, which is the craziest thing to get caught with.
Yeah. The human brain is wild, isn't
Wild.
it?
Yeah, man, it's fucked up. And that's such a wild one though, man.
Yeah.
They go, you're not gonna fuck me, all right? And just have like dudes come through.
Or they get off on it watching dudes kind of
Yeah.
uncomfortably bang their wife. Yeah.
It's a weird thing,
People
man.
got weird things.
Crazy,
We
bro.
all got something.
Never me, bro. I'm
Dude,
numero,
that's
numero
why-
uno, bro. Nah, I would be so mad.
No, I would. Yeah, I'd
I
be
don't do it.
upset. Yeah.
Third guy, you'd be like, what the fuck am I doing? This is
Yeah.
Oh, take 3.
Yeah.
like what
By the
fuck?
third, you're like, wait, this wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
I was fine with the first
Well, the
2.
crazies for you and 50 people to all go down together for that. That trial must have been crazy.
Yeah.
They're all going down too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is French jail even like though? You think it's even that big of a deal? Probably cigarettes, baguettes.
Yeah, true. It's probably
Not that
French
big.
jail's probably, and the gay sex there probably has that French
Probably
flair.
awesome. Well, it's loving.
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
is like that's I don't know, man. The French jail probably actually does suck.
Yeah.
I mean, all jails. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder if the food might be all right. But
Food's
yeah,
probably
that-
better than most.
If
Dude,
you're a
just-
criminal, just take a flight to Norway and commit a crime, and then you just live.
No,
great.
no,
for sure.
no death penalty, no life in prison. Most of your prison time is on a farm.
Dude, I saw a documentary about that. They have like guitars and shit. They have like music rooms. You can just go play. It's like
Hang
that
out.
is a kind of a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like hanging out in like a rec room of a luxury condo building. Like
Yeah.
you just got everything you want. You're chilling.
That wouldn't be bad.
No, not at all.
And you can do a pretty sick crime. You can like crash a car into someone's house, something like crazy.
Literally, that guy in Norway who like killed all those school kids, like that awful thing. He's going to get out of jail.
Is he
He's just
really?
in a fucking open air jail?
I don't think he's ever going to get out, but the laws are that he should. But they keep finding.
Oh,
reasons
okay.
to keep
All right,
him
so
in.
I missed
But
it.
it's
Yeah.
funny because technically he would get out, but because of what he did, they keep finding loopholes to keep him in there because
Yeah.
their own laws, by their own laws,
Right.
they're all about rehabilitation and they're
Yeah.
all,
They should just send him to Guantanamo.
yeah,
Ship him to
sick.
Guantanamo.
Yeah.
Just be like, all right, you're out
Yeah.
of here.
Yeah,
Because he shouldn't be there like doing like fucking. He's probably like getting emails and stuff.
yeah.
phone during, and I'm like, okay, no, they're gonna kick me out. You can't turn the phone on because I wanted to erase it. It was just some fucking negative
What do you mean?
bullshit. Like, because at the show you can't turn your phone on.
Right,
They
right,
said.
right.
So then I go out, and then I wouldn't even have turned my phone on had I not had that thought, which is that you inspired me from the thing. And then you're like, dude, I saw you come back to the green room.
I
I'm
couldn't
like,
miss
right
you,
on.
bro. I couldn't miss you. I'm obviously
like-
stealing your drip right now. I couldn't miss you.
That was fucking rad as fuck, dude.
My friend, I think Nate. You met Nate.
Yes.
Nate comes back. Oh, no, I think it was AJ. AJ comes back and he's like, yeah, there's a guy like in all white in the front row. And I was like, I know who that is. That's Joel Blazer. I was like, dude, hell yeah. So, yeah, we talked a little bit. And then we met, dude. Dude, you're the fucking man. We met in Milwaukee. You gave the signed copies to Nate and AJ of your book.
Yeah, gave him a little note.
Letters from Marion. The notes were, I thought, beautiful, man. I gave them their books and we were reading them. I'm like, they're just beautiful notes. You're the man, dude. You're an absolute beast. But we went to the
Thank you.
steakhouse, 5 o'clock steakhouse.
Yes.
Might have been the best steak I've ever had in my life, dude. I'm not lying.
It was good.
It was so good. And then the thing that really killed me was I've never seen this happen before. When you showed up, you had an incident with gasoline.
Oh my God, dude.
You smelled like gasoline. You showed up. We were all sitting there eating. And I'm like, I thought you were working with power tools all day. So I'm like, maybe he was like chainsawing all day or something. He come in, I'm like, I don't want to be rude to him. What the fuck? Why do you smell like gas?
The motherfucker clicked. I'm sitting in the car. The thing's full. It clicked. I pull it out, dude, and it just was squirting, and it just squirted on the car and splashed.
Yeah, you got drenched with gasoline.
Like, that is wicked.
Bro, I swear to God, it was such a pungent
I'm like,
smell.
what am I going to do?
You had to just show up. It was a beast move.
You could have lit me on fire if you were smoking cigarettes.
I seriously was concerned. I was worried someone was going to order like a flambe or something and you would have went up because it was a thick gasoline smell. Although that's kind of the most manly cologne.
Maybe we could start it.
Just
Letters
a
from
little
Marion, gasoline.
But yeah, so and this is what kind of got my interest. I watched you on Soft White Underbelly, and you had the story basically about going to a supermax prison for selling, LSD. And the case was crazy. Like, we talked about it. It was just you sent, LSD in the mail, Western Union. Some guy got caught. He never got even caught with it, right?
No, his friend got caught.
Okay.
And then his friend just told on him. They showed up at his front door and he just told him this crazy story.
Right.
So wasn't indicted. He just
completely
right on his front step.
Jesus Christ. And then he gave you up and then you got on some bullshit trial where it was like, you never got caught with drugs, but there was enough circumstantial evidence to suggest that you had used a fake name to Western Union money and LSD around. And they sentenced you to, you said they were
151 months, 12 years, 7 months, which I jumped for joy. That was short.
Yeah.
When I was facing 40 and I get 151, I looked at my mom and I just went like this, like,
really, you turned around?
yes, because I'm like, it's 151. Like, I'm
True.
at least 40 when you're 23.
It's your whole life. You're done.
You're like, how do you look down that hallway?
True.
151. It's like, okay, I can file some appeals. Maybe I'll get lucky, and I did. But
and that was 1992. So this
92.
is like, it's crazy to think about the drug laws back. There's even like weed back then. Like you could go to jail for like 4 or 5 years for selling weed if you had enough.
When we drove through Texas or Vegas, Nevada, like the older deadheads, like the shit was hid. You couldn't do anything. Ponytails back. Like you just had to get through the state, especially Texas. They said if we get pulled over and they find weed, we are all going to prison.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And now look.
Yeah, well,
and so we paved the way. I should put a collection bucket out.
You should, dude. You should. Well, that's
the young people have no fucking clue, man.
Yeah, even the early 2000s, it was like you could go to jail for like little bullshit like weed and stuff. I guess they obviously softened the
There's
penalties.
still some. There's 25 states where it's illegal, right?
Yeah, Texas is still illegal. Like if you Austin, you're fine. If you have weed in Austin, they don't care. If you leave Austin, you can still they'll like throw you in the
because in front of the hotel, everybody.
They don't care in Austin, but if you isn't that right, Josh? I think if you leave Austin and you get caught with weed, like I knew someone who
so it's decriminalized in Austin proper.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they don't prosecute it at all. It's not.
That's the lib side.
It's lib. This is a lib haven. Yeah, they actually have like decent food here, but you got to deal with all that stuff. But yeah, man, you can in Austin. I knew someone who got pulled over with a vape cartridge and got like held overnight
in Austin.
No, outside of Austin. So Austin's a safe haven.
So they can. Do they sell it here?
Yeah, it's like now we have that weird stuff where it's like the hemp.
It's one little
the hemp bill. The hemp bill.
Oh yeah, the farm bill.
Exactly.
If you get it from hemp, you can. It's like
or the big thing's THCA because THC is what's illegal. THCA. You have to like heat up weed to make brownies. Decarboxylate or whatever.
Yep.
So now if you have that extra carbon molecule that heat removes from literally a lighter, it's technically legal because you can be like, well, this is hemp. It's weed's legal now, by the way. So.
But is it medically legal here?
No, Texas is like I think it's I don't think they even have a medical
think
program.
all drugs should be legal and the world would be way different. That's really one of the driving forces behind the book, is to be part of that wave.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's like
it hasn't worked.
No.
I mean, look at the prisons.
Well, what happened with Portugal? Didn't Portugal? Yeah, I mean, obviously locking people up for years.
They did. It was much smaller. The Cato Institute did a big study. I wrote a couple op-eds for that. I don't remember all the statistics, but they would track it all the way to like when kids first tried drugs. Like it just had a positive impact on all the metrics of drug use, amount of drug use when they stop. And then when you go in to do it, they say, if you get addicted or you want help, here it is. But there's a lot of moms whose young daughters and sons have OD'd and died that if it was legal, if they were at one of those places, they wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
And you take the Mexican cartel would go out of business like that. Think of that. So
that's the big one. Yeah. Well, that's the. But here's the thing. I read the book Chasing the Scream by
great book.
Yes. They talk about that
Yes.
how like in London they would give people heroin And then if you had someone, if they had to go to a center and the heroin was clean, like there were way less deaths. But now the critique in America is like the
well, it's a cesspool. America did it wrong. Like Oregon and Seattle are just like a whole area of
exactly. It does give the harm reduction stuff a bad name because it's like if you just let people lay on the street and you're like, oh, here's needles. And then my friend Jerry Klickstein was actually living in Skid Row for a while, and he said the problem was you like throw these guys in like an apartment, like, oh, here, we're gonna give you housing, and then they OD and die, and nobody finds them because they're by themselves. Rather, if they're outside,
but
people can at least discover them.
If both metrics were the same, legal and illegal, there's still the metric of the criminal elements out of it. And we get the money that we can bring back in.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also, it loses a lot of the allure. It's like, if you're telling me if I got to go to like a professional office building to like go do heroin, I'm going to be like...
You're going to start to question it. You're going to think, what am I doing? Where's my life going?
Yeah, what is it? What the fuck am I doing? It's not the thrill of like, you're getting it. It takes the rock and roll element out of it. Which I think could work, and it always is a personal choice. It is like, it comes down to personal choice.
What I do with my head is my business. Can a government really tell me?
Yeah, well, apparently they told you. They sent you to jail for fucking 15 years. So, dude, you have a book. It's called Letters from Marion. I read it. I love the book, dude. I thought it was great.
Thank you.
Book was fantastic. It kind of
give me that shout out about the jack rag on another podcast.
Yes, I did. Actually,
I parted it too.
Dude, I'm glad. It's got to cross a weird threshold though for other prisoners to be like, yo, here's how you jerk off. Because I know in jail it's like
Nikki at the third place. Yeah, Nikki told me. He started to tell me, and I thought he was fucking with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but he's not gay. Sparky already got me stoned with all this weed. And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try it. And I did, and it was wicked.
And what was the technique again? You rolled the socks inside out,
so it's smooth, and then you're not actually like going up and down on the shaft. And it's hard. It's hard when you get a really big hard on, but you grab the shaft, and then that heat will create it, and then right at climax, boom, right on top and underneath,
put some pressure on it.
It has an effect, man.
That's crazy.
I mean, like most don't guys know that?
Oh man, I don't know. I've never tried the sock and the fucking pressure plate at the end.
So you turn it inside out and then you fold it over so it's a little tight, right? And you got to get a big sock. But no, it works. And then it's all contained. No spill, no fuss, no muss. You don't have to buy a cab ride home in the morning.
True. Got to wash the sock. Yeah. Got to wash the sock.
Throw that fucker out.
Throw it out
after like 6 or 8 uses.
What? Oh, so you still wash it between?
Or I'll rinse it. But I don't want to put it in the machine.
Nah, true. You need to keep it pure. Yeah, you need to keep it pure. I get that. True. You don't want all those chemicals on you. So you were telling me, this made me laugh a lot. So you go to trial. You took your case to trial. You fight it yourself, which, that is honorable. You go take your case to trial. And then you were sentenced, like you said. What was the first thing you did upon sentencing? You go back to the cell. What was your play?
So it was
you're 23 years old.
Sobering experience. I went to that cell and I just started to think, what do I want to do? What am I going to do when I get out? Surfing, sushi, and then I'm like, somehow I got aroused.
Right on.
And the marshals were out of the office there. There's bars, and I just fucking hit it, and I made myself come hard, dude. And then I'm like, get used to it, motherfucker, because that's all you got. And I think that's actually pretty good, like, to realization and just accepting this is what it is.
Dude, I mean...
And then who knows, maybe if I spent 151 months in there, I mean, I might have been getting my dick sucked. I don't fucking know. I don't think so. But after a certain amount of time, like say if you're there for 30 fucking years, man.
I hear you.
You got to be touched. Like, what the fuck?
Something's got to happen.
Yeah. Or a guard. You get lucky with a female prison guard.
That'd be huge. That'd be very lucky.
So I don't know. I've never had to deal with that. But
you never had it. That was your primary concern. You said going in. You didn't want to have to...
Get raped, my asshole filled with cum. Can I say that?
You can say that, yeah. It's your journey.
No, man.
Dude, that's a real fucking fear. I'd be terrified, man. Because you were down where? In like Kentucky?
Yes. That trial was in Covington, Kentucky, 6th District. The first prison was like really low and normal. But, as it progressed. And the thing is, the face of the medium security prisons at that time changed. Mm-hmm. So normal medium security in the 80s, you might have bank robbers, couple drug dealers. The average sentence was maybe 6, 8, 10 years. But now every other fucking guy had 30, 35 years and they're young. So it was like, that was like a penitentiary and a medium. Cause like, if a dude's got 35 or 40 years and he's 25 and he's disrespected, like what the fuck does he have to lose?
Exactly.
It's not like you have 8 or 10 and you got an out date and you're close, right? So like the tensions were different.
And also I did like that. I have to say, like, so you're there, that just being like, look, I've never tried sushi. I'm going to get that when I get out. I'm going to surf around the world when I get out. And then Just like, and it is funny to like just jerk off, but it is something, there's something serious about that level of acceptance to be like, this is my situation. Because I feel like people in and out of jail struggle with that, of like just accepting your lot in life and just kind of like getting with the program rather than just constantly spinning yourself out.
Acceptance.
It's a big thing.
It was luck. I don't know how I look back. What the fuck?
And why you were wise. You were definitely at 22 to be like, all right, this is what it is pretty crazy. I wouldn't have been able to take it. I would have been like, this is bullshit. There's no way. I would have been in total denial, I think.
When they arrested me, I thought to myself, as they're driving me in the car, like I had the thought, I'm like, I know a motherfucker who's got a kilo of coke. I'm thinking in my head, and I'm like, no. And they brought me to the courthouse in this room with Christopher Bick and a couple other agents. And they said, you're going to spend the rest of you're going to spend all of your fucking 20s and probably most of your 30s in prison. This is the best part of your life. And they said, we won't even process you. Just tell us you'll cooperate and help us. And it can stop right now. And I said, take me to my cell. Fuck you. Which was the hardest fucking thing.
Damn.
Because I knew I'm not going to jail then.
Yeah.
They threw the 18 count indictment on my lap when they arrested me, which I thought, holy fuck, that means they convened a grand jury. They've been fucking following me, trying to catch me with shit, which they were. So, yeah, man, that was a wicked situation. Then I got out on bail for like 4 months, and then out on bail, I got in trouble. So they arrested me. I don't know if I put this in the book. And then I had to go back to Kentucky through the federal prison system. And then once I got to Kentucky, there was a mix-up with getting the car. And then I got out again.
You did talk about
but
this, yeah.
I went through 6 or 7 prisons because the way the Marshal Service is like transfers you through. And then I went to this one in Oklahoma. Now they built a different one. But you actually went into a prison with like 6 tiers. And so I'm only have been arrested. I informally charged, but I have not been convicted or sentenced. So I saw, in that point, what prison was.
Yeah, well, okay.
Like really what prison was.
Yeah, you got to get your shuffle. So I remember that in the book. You had to get yourself down to Kentucky to get like arraigned or whatever.
Yeah, because they arrested me in Milwaukee, but the indictment was out of Kentucky. So they arraigned me here. They gave me pretrial probation. They said, you got to show up in 3 weeks. And
Kentucky. And you couldn't get to Kentucky.
Right.
Right,
and then like 2 days before, I called the marshals. They said, you got to get there. You got to get there. We're going to come arrest you. And then there was an issue with my getting a rental car. And then my brother wasn't going to let me use his car. And I fucked up.
Yeah. So they were pissed. So they had to literally transport you from Milwaukee down to.
But they don't go straight. You just get in the system and you go around. And then it took me like 31 days, couple county jails. But it was the one in Oklahoma City. I can't remember the name of the federal prison, but like you would go to the chow hall and you'd mix with the prisoners, like the WIC, and it's just like, I remember Gene Gotti was there, I believe at the time, but it was like, holy fuck, man. Then I get to Kentucky. He gives me the bail. He's like, you can't fuck up. We're going to piss you, all that. He's like, but I'll see you. I don't know. The trial was in 4 or 5 months after that. No, I went back to Milwaukee.
Okay.
But if that could have made anybody rat.
Yeah.
Because you see, like, this is going to be home.
Oh, you weren't even, I see what you're saying. You weren't even like a fully sentenced yet. And the thing that struck, I didn't know.
I didn't even have the trial.
Exactly. So you got like a taste and you could have totally been like, bro, fuck this. I'm out. I did like the thing in the book where you talked about how they gave some people what was called diesel therapy. And they would just keep prisoners traveling just in perpetuity. That like
the diesel therapy.
Dude, that's fucking terrible.
Because you maybe shower every 2 days. You're constantly in chains, belly chains and the leg irons. And then like if you file complaints, and I'm sure they do it to people that they want to break, like maybe Secret Service people they think are selling secrets or whatever, like some sort of thing. And then it's also a threat. Like, like if you go on diesel therapy, you're basically on a bus like 7 days a week and stopping off only every couple days. And like in the big tanks with people, you're eating bologna sandwiches. Like,
yeah, and you don't know anyone, so you're just getting shuffled or you're a stranger
no phone
everywhere.
calls, no mail.
It sucks, dude. I never heard of that before. You always hear about the hole. That's the big one. You get sent to the hole. But
the hole's the jail within the jail.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy,
it's
right?
super jail.
Yeah. The hole is pretty wicked. The thing is, like on the commissary slips, they sold at every single federal prison, they sold raw garlic. And when you went to the hole, there were certain things on the commissary they wouldn't let you buy. But you could always buy raw garlic.
Really?
Cloves. And like for the whole entire time, every single day, I'd eat 2 to 4 cloves every day.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to do it.
Yeah, it probably kept like infections at bay, and getting sick in jail would fuck. No one ever thinks about getting sick in jail.
It's the thing. The light sicknesses are you're gonna kind of get poo-pooed, but like if something's real serious, they take because it's the feds. They will take you right out to the hospital.
Oh, that's cool.
But
well, my friend was in a county jail, and that's the thing people don't know too. Apparently, county
County's
jail's
the worst.
Exactly, that's what I've heard.
Cesspool wickedness.
It sucks. My friend was there, and he was an older guy, and he was in the county jail.
It's dirty. There's no
filthy.
regulation.
He was there during COVID, and he said the guards were so like whacked out about interacting with the prisoners that he was like, they didn't come check on you at all, and the heaters were fucked up. So he was like, it was freezing cold.
It always is, and the air is recirculated. So you're getting dandruff.
Yeah, he was like, it's freezing cold, and he was like, I'm an older guy. He had health issues. He's like, if I had a health complication, I would have died because like there was like a bell or a button they could ring to like get people to come, and he's like, they would all ring it, and nobody like for 8 hours a night that people just wouldn't show up because they were like, we don't want the guards were like, we don't want to be around the fucking prison,
right? Because even if you're federal holdover in a county jail, you don't get the federal like if you're in a federal prison.
Yeah,
there's just like you're in the county, that's it.
You would think the county would be the nicer one because it's lesser. Well, at least you can be waiting to trial, but it's like usually if you get like a DUI, you think the conditions would be nicer to go serve a DUI sentence than like.
It's got to be the worst place
in the scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme.
No, I'm saying like if you did like a high level crime, you get better jail conditions. Basically, you get to federal prison.
No, once you get there,
yeah, it's true. But it was that just shocked me because my friend went and I was always kind of like, you would think like. Federal prison's like worse than the county, but it's like he was like, no, it's actually way better. He's like,
oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But either way, so you got so once you were there, and in the book you move around a lot, and also there was.
Doesn't it come together at the end though?
I like it. Yeah, I like it. You did it. You did a good job of like chronological leaps because it's like you're talking about your one time period, like I'm waiting trial, and then like you're jumping to like being released and the stuff you were doing after that, and then back. And I thought that's. You pulled it off. The chronological jumps.
Thank you.
Pulled off. The letters were. So what was your thought? Because within the book,
it's too many.
Well, here's the thing. I think they were fine, but you gave a pretty a pretty serious glimpse into like the psyche of a incarcerated young.
Some
person.
of it was a little too deep.
I loved it. I thought it was great. But like the best is when you sent a letter to your brother being like, "I'm gonna fucking destroy you when I get out of here. I'm so jacked." I was that made me literally laugh out loud in my bed. I was reading that. I'm like, what a funny fucking thing just to be in jail. Be like, I'm gonna fucking beat your ass when I get out of here. I'll be so strong. Which I'm sure you're fucking around with your brother, but it was like, yeah, the letters did like the story, was flowing. The letters like they really gave it some kind of like some weight to it, man. It was like some of those letters were like,
thank you,
kind of dark in a good way. I thought it was cool because it was. You didn't. Here's my thing. You didn't have to put those in there, and you did, and you really showed, kind of an unfiltered like view of how you were, and it was cool. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I wanted to do the envelopes to prove I was there, and then Hillary wanted me to type the letter out, but then I'm like,
no,
that means it could be edited. If this letter, this is it. Like you can't change that.
So with the letters, there was I didn't know what you were talking about. You were asking your mom for photos. What was the photo?
Oh, for Playboy. What? My parents met at Playboy, and she posted
that. I heard. Yeah, that I knew. So what did you want the photo for?
Just to have. I don't know. No, so we would see the photos like when we were little, and so they weren't all
They're
naked
not nude.
photos.
Yeah, obviously,
they're not all nude, but she has a couple, and then on the back it says Playboy Studios. But I think I had a bet or something with someone or some reason ulterior. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
but I got the picture and I showed. I said, "Look, Playboy Studio."
Yeah, that was the one.
I think it was a bet.
That was a letter I saw in there. There's no context on the letter. So I kind of looked it up and I was like, okay, that's what I thought it was. You wanted the Playboy photos for a bet. You never said that in the book. So when you're reading it, you're going, this is a freaky ass bull, dude.
In prison, I'm going to be jacking off to my mother.
I would never say that. I would never say that.
No, but you're right. That's a reasonable thought. How fucked up does this dude get? He's jacking off to his mother? Oh my God.
I'd never say so. God damn, it just made me laugh because I was reading the book and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about, these photos? And that makes sense. You had a bet with somebody. They didn't believe you.
No. Gary. I'm pretty sure it was Gary.
He didn't believe
you. It might
you.
not have been a bet. It might have just been, look, I want hey, my parents met at Playboy. Check this out.
Yeah, that was an interesting story too. That was, so how did that go down?
I think it happened on Lake Parkway at the mansion, Hugh Hefner's mansion. My dad collected money. Mm-hmm. He worked in the credit department. My mom worked in some area where you're just kind of the traditional whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they met at the party. And then they married. I think they married in 1963, November 22nd, to date John Kennedy was shot, and I think they met in '61, but they both worked at Playboy. And then Pompeo Posar was a big staff photographer, just hounded the shit out of my mother until she relented to pose. So, but the rest of the story, which I've never told anyone, probably never happened in the history of Playboy. So she posed. They picked her for centerfold. Everything was set, typeset and everything, and she fucking freaked out.
And she was like, take it out. I don't want to do it.
She's like, no. But she still stayed working there for another year and a half. But they said, no one's ever done this, like said no.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I can't do it. She was sort of traditional Italian,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Catholic.
Especially back
but
then.
it's 60.
Especially back then. Like, people now wouldn't care because people have like OnlyFans and shit. But like, yeah, back then, that was a big deal.
She was old fashioned like that. Pull the chair out, like just.
So what was the thinking though? Why? I guess if you're in the environment, you get they do that at strip clubs a lot too. They'll take the bartenders and they'll be like, yeah, you should get up there. It's just when you're in that environment, they're probably just kind of pushing you.
Well, she was super fine.
Really?
She was extremely fine. Yeah, no, unbelievable. Like, okay, I had a party at the Lake Estate. The Super Bowl was February 4th, and my friend was there, and my mom came into the kitchen, and so I'm, I don't know, 40. My mom's 65 probably. Now she's my mom, so like but petite and perfect.
You were cursed with a hot mom.
So she leaves the kitchen and Bob's there. It's probably 5 years my elder. He's like, dude, your sister is so fine. Can I get her? Can I call her? And I said, it's my mom. And he's just like, oh, wait, he walked out. Like that's who she was. But she wasn't like, what's the word? Like she didn't act like she was, but she was.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it like growing up with like a hot mom, basically?
How could I know the difference?
What do you mean? Oh yeah,
You know what I
can't
mean?
say. Yeah, I always wondered what that was
looking
like.
back, like the way people reacted to her and would talk to her, like when we would travel, like they were very attracted to her. I don't know. It probably helped me. I mean, am I ugly?
No, yeah, no, good looking guy, dude.
I think she might have been able to do a lot better than my dad, though, right?
Yeah. So what was in the book? You include some stuff like you guys had a rocky relationship, and then he just died.
Yeah. So
how was that? Because you go into it's kind of jarring because I read it. It's like you guys have this
It's almost
physical
unbelievable.
altercation,
Yeah.
and then he dies that day.
So a week before he died, maybe 2 weeks, we were at the dining room table, and I'm like, dude, I think something's wrong with you. I think you're gonna die. I've been having these dreams. It happened with my grandmother. He said, I'm fine. I had the cholesterol check. Everything's good. Then the day before, so what was it, October 15th, 1989? 1988. Because the first time I took LSD was a year later on that date, unbeknownst to me. And so we got in a fight over something. The cakes went flying.
But it was like a birthday.
Someone's cakes, was it my mother's? Someone had a birthday coming, and then so we had the fight, and I ran out of the house, and I was kind of a fuck up. And I got this new job, and then at the job, I started to panic and freak out. They trained me, and I said, I got to go home. Something's wrong. And then he died right in my arms.
Damn, that's crazy.
Which is fucked up.
Yeah, and you were, early 20s. It's got to be a pretty heavy experience.
No, 20.
Or 20 years
19.
old. Yeah. Okay.
No, maybe I was 21. 69, 89, 88, 7, 19.
Okay. Damn, that's pretty wild. Yeah, that was just like a quick thing mentioned in the book, but I was like, that's kind of.
But then what happened in Marion, in the world, like in nature, there's no wasted energy. And if you live to be 80, you've had 6 years of dreams.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Right. And so like once I got to Marion, from this very first day to the day I left, every single night I'd dream and we'd meet and we'd talk and we'd get it out.
That's cool.
Every fucking day. So like I made peace with it somehow. But yeah, there was a rocky relationship. I mean, my dad suffered from PTSD. He fought in a war. I don't know if because you mentioned it when you did your thing about hitting a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is that really the way? So 5 or 6 year old boy, like that's, it didn't happen all the time, but it happened enough to where it's like, it's significant, right? But it doesn't have to define who I am today.
For sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. Does that answer your question?
No, yeah, that does. It was like a heavier moment. And I thought this was kind of interesting too in the book. This was kind of like the crux of the tale was like, you're in jail, you know, you're kind of having a good time. You're, you know, selling a little black dart heroin.
I was finance my weed. Oh my God. That's just the hypocrisy of it, right? Like we're going to keep this shit illegal.
I know.
What the fuck?
It is crazy. But for me, it was crazy that you just tried heroin and were like, man,
Oh
that was
yeah.
cool.
I said the whole thing with drawing the needle back and the blood coming in.
Was that like creepy as fuck doing that? Like I don't like needles at all. That's why.
No,
you know,
it was creepy as fuck. And the thing is, it just felt like I was really stoned. So I'm like, why would I want to do this other than smoke pot?
Yeah.
Because then I'm getting physically addicted. I'll be sucking dick to get more or whatever.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah. So it wasn't this like otherworldly.
Oh, that's the thing. That's it. That's the other thing. When I jacked off in this thing,
Mm-hmm.
that's the third thing. So when I was out, was very significant. So when I was there, I said sushi, surfing, and when I was out selling LSD, they thought you were an alcoholic or doing coke or heroin, you could not get the good
You were cut
LSD.
off, yeah.
You were done. And they always trained you for safety first. And it's like they knew, they could see in my soul, this motherfucker will not rat. Somehow they saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I jacked off, I said, I'm going to fucking try once. I want to just try it. I want to stick a needle in my arm and I'm going to try heroin.
Was that because of Jerry Garcia having? Was he like into heroin then, or that was until like the 90s?
I don't know the whole history. He was in it. I mean, probably from the beginning, but when he got addicted, it was definitely in the 90s. Bad, really bad. And then he went to the Forest Knolls or Serenity Knolls and then he died. I don't know if it's because of that, but it was no, it wasn't because of that. Because the people that do heroin and coke and are alcoholic, they're not thinking safety first.
Right.
And then they bring that heat on.
Mm-hmm.
People, because like they're in the circles of the heavier drugs where LSD was very clandestine.
Yeah.
So
Okay. That makes sense. So that was part of your thing. Like I'm going to try heroin too once.
Once.
Now I can do it.
Yeah. That was the three things I promised myself.
You were getting crushed by the corporate lifestyle of selling LSD. So you're like, I'm going to.
I was always
heroin.
to get to the next show. Like, because if you went broke, you could sell grilled cheese and beer and make $600 or $800,
Mm-hmm.
buy 20 or 30 sheets, go to some city for 2 weeks with someone that you just met or they know the city, and then make $4,000 or $5,000, and you're good for like the whole tour.
Yeah.
I mean, $2,000 or $3,000 in the '80s on tour, it was like you're set.
True.
You got 3 or 4 guys in the car, but like there's always was the juxtaposition. It's like I'm risking my fucking life for a little bit of money, even though I believe in it. Like, so that was the dichotomy of wickedness.
I mean, how fun was that? Just being, a younger.
That was
a kid,
amazing.
basically, just following around the
It was
Grateful Dead.
beautiful because like those people accepted me. It was like a family, and it was just like love. The scene in the parking lot when I went to the first show was unbelievable. Like it just was what was missing at home.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And it was beautiful. But no, it wasn't like I was in fear because I've sold very little drugs at a show. I would meet people and like make things happen, but it wasn't like I was out there, doses, mushrooms, this,
you
that,
weren't really
know?
getting after it like that.
And you didn't have to because you could do grilled cheese and beer and do
still make
fine
money,
and
yeah.
make money. And then, the acid connects. And then like these people who did the LSD, like we'll just say Rainbow, the Vesuvian Man,
Yeah.
So one side had that, and then the one side was surfing hippie ladies. And then a sheet is 1,000 hits, which is like maybe a 7x10. And then 10 of those is like accordion. So that's 1 gram of LSD, which looks just like a gram of cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would pay someone to batik those sheets with each square of 100 hits would have the Vitruvian Man from what's his name? Da
Vinci.
Yeah, Da Vinci. And
Yeah.
the other side would be the surfing hippie ladies. But that piece of paper was like artwork. You could not counterfeit that.
That makes
so
sense, yeah.
if I saw one of those sheets on the lot, I'm like, all right, Rainbow's here. I'm
Gotcha.
gonna search them out. Like I know I can get. And then they would front me anything,
Yeah.
but I would never. They would front me 10 grams, which is 100,000
crazy.
hits. But I would like, what am I going to do with it? And they would train me, like, if you ever think there's heat around the corner, like throw that shit away. You just have to stay safe. Like one
Yeah.
time we did a 10 strip and like they were just with me when they met me. And
You took 10 hits, you're saying?
yeah. And they could tell somewhat, however they told, they could tell, but like I was in,
Damn.
I was in.
What was that like when you like, that was your first experience? Was that your first experience
No,
with LSD?
nope. The first one was the year anniversary of my dad's death. I was with
Right.
new friends that I met, and we were in the show. They were blue unicorns, and there were lights like this on the ceiling, and we just kept eating the LSD because I'm like, I don't think it's real. I don't think it's real. It was her second time, and then I don't know. I probably got to 8 or 9, and then all of a sudden we're like, this is real. But then we just spent the next 15 hours together. We were at the show. It was the most beautiful, lovely experience. Like you could you were just in the moment. It's hard to explain in words. But that was a beautiful trip. But the time I took the 10 was Northern California, and like you could sleep. I mean, pure good LSD is not. I don't think it's really harmful unless you have something psychologically that's really impending you, and or the precursor to the trip. Like if you just got in a wicked fight with your ex-wife and she's taking the kids and you got to double the alimony, and then that might be bad.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you were saying in the book too, these people who were like, there was only a few people who were able to somehow secure the ingredients necessary to make LSD, because it is hard. I knew a guy in a lab, and he could make almost anything, but he's like, I can't make LSD.
Ergotamine tartrate. No, it's a substantial amount of glassware, and it's not just some bathtub shit to get pure LSD 25. It took some time. And so the other thing is like, and you're not just going to you're going to end up with millions and millions a hit with a batch, you know? So it's like, you're going to have a lot. But those people that I met, they never were about bling bling. They were specific to safety first and wanting to bring about radical social change. And when I was in prison, I met people from Caracas and all down South America, these big, huge coke dealers. And this one dude, I remember his face, I can't think of his name. And he sort of made me start to think even more about it, because he said like when the LSD came and he knew about Owsley, he knew all this stuff about like the scene, but he was like this wicked cocaine dealer, but he was so smart. And he said when that LSD came in, it's when people were rioting in the government and we wanted to overthrow things. And he's like, that stuff brought about radical social change. So it makes sense that the government wanted it illegal, but who knows why? Maybe they found some true serum way to like make people. Yeah. They didn't want Russia to get it, but they did a lot of stuff with alcoholism too.
Yeah, that was a big thing for AA. I think LSD,
Bill wanted it everywhere.
Yeah.
And then at the Jefferson in the 50s, they did. When I was in prison, they had a show with Barbara Walter on LSD, and the whole was sentencing and everything. And so in the 50s, they did this thing where they would take alcoholics, non-AA, they take them on one bad trip, seriously bad, and show them everything they did wrong, and they filmed it. And then on Barbara Walters Inside Federal Prison, they had like the dude's daughters or sons, and they're like 70 or 80, and they said the LSD saved our lives like our dad or mom never took another drink. They completely changed them.
Damn.
So that was a small study.
How much do you think how much they were giving them? They were probably back then.
I think it was they showed it was 1,000 mics. They showed that it was from Santos. They called it Dicelin or something like that, and they would give them 1,000 mics, but they literally would take them on a horrendously negative trip the whole entire time in a thing with doctors and like.
Well, it's weird too because.
And then it would infect them forever till they died.
Dude. I mean, imagine again in the 50s, like LSD, like I grew up hearing about it. You have like a context for what it is, like it's like it's like hippie stuff and
jumping out the window, you're gonna die.
Yeah, or even being like say I was following like fish, and if I was a kid, I would have been like, yeah, it's like weed. It's like you get high, but in the 50s, if someone just hit you with 10 hits of LSD in a lab and like, get your fucking life together, I'd be like, ah!
I always thought it was going to make you go crazy. I mean, I didn't take LSD till I was 1989, 20 was the first time. And so I had a few times at shows I would buy a sheet or two from someone I didn't know, and I just would sell it at high school. I'd say, is this real? And I did mushrooms a couple of times, but like, even though I thought I was a free thinker, there was this, like, you're going to take it and you're going to want to fly and jump out a window. Like somewhere that got started, because that was always in my head, but it wasn't that dangerous. But I don't know if it's for everyone.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I think that if a big slice, like if you go to Gaza, right, then Terrence McKenna would go all the way to group sex, but he's like, you get both sides, Palestine, the Jews, and let's all take some LSD and sit in a room. I guarantee you they're going to fucking figure it out. Yeah. And they might start fucking each other.
That'd be sick.
Right? That'd be sick. I mean, the peace on earth, man. Yeah, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like it could, do that. It is unfortunate because I like you were saying, it's not for everybody. And I have seen people who abuse it kind of lose it, like
LSD.
Yes.
So I've never seen that. I believe it,
but I think you have to have underlying stuff already kind of kicking around.
He abused it like daily.
They were just there was like every weekend, just boom, like and like constantly. As you said in your book, you didn't take it
less than a dozen times because it's so profound. What do you need?
These guys were every weekend the nitrous. They were just partying with it, and I remember.
Wow.
I see the one guy. I was in a grocery store, and I'm like, oh hey, what's up, man? He was working there. I'm like, how you doing? Dude, he cornered me. He's like, I'm fighting a battle against light and darkness. And I was like, oh, boy. I was like, all right, bro. I was like, I'm going to grab my stuff and get out of here. But it was, I remember this guy. But again, it could have been just like underlying stuff. Because that is like, you know, if you take a person who already has, even if like, you know, they could have like had a job and just been a little weird or whatever, but it's like if you've really kind of ramped that shit up and it's like you don't give them any kind of like way to work through all that stuff, it's like, yeah,
No,
it
you're
kinda
right.
makes sense. You would lose your fucking mind.
Because you have psych now. What is that?
That was I'm still trying to figure out how to do it. I have an idea with what I want to do, but I got obsessed. So I've always liked psychology. So I've always liked psychology. And then I went to school for social work to get my master's.
Yes.
I wanted to start something like AA that's just not centered around drugs, where you can kind of get people.
Anything.
Yes, who are like, I could talk to people who are, you know, like PhDs or whatever, and have them help me come up with some sort of program that could be peer-led around like just mental health stuff in general. That way, like, you can't afford a therapist. If you can't afford a therapist, you could still have like a group that's like, it's not like therapy per se, but it would be using
Sharing.
the tools, yeah, like that. These people, like these PhD level people, make up, and like how do you kind of disseminate them in a way that like that could be done in like a peer-to-peer thing. So that's my goal, and I'm still now looking for therapists now because I want to just salary a couple therapists now that I can to just kind of like run groups and like kind of like
See what?
curate the whole like online space.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's for
How did you get that name?
I made it up. Psychnol. I don't know.
I
It
like
sounded
it.
funny because, you know, but yeah, so that is my goal because, you know, we do need to figure something out collectively because this isn't, you know, it's clearly not working, dude. It's like the fact that we're immune to like kids shooting kids in school now. It's like it happens enough to where it's like, all right, dude, we need to organize ourselves mentally a different way. We're organized around, you know, one thing right now, and it's not really
Money?
not working. Yeah, pretty much. And it's like it's good. I don't hate money, but it's like it's clearly something's getting fucked up, and it's like I really feel like as human beings, you know, we're organisms, and like we're not. It's hard for people to wrap their head around the fact for everybody that they're not like the most important person in the world. Because as an organism, if you think about organisms,
The cells. We're all a cell.
yeah, well, if
right.
you're an organism and you sense an organism that's bigger than you, that's a threat to your life. You know what I mean? Because if you're an animal, just say you're an animal. If you're an animal and if you're a wolf and you see a bigger wolf, that wolf could very well kill you, and that sets off a chain of reactions. But human beings, our sense of like largeness is kind of abstract. So if you perceive somebody's bigger than you in some sense, it can set off like a very real
Fear
chain
reaction.
of biological events
Yep.
that can color your thinking and behavior. And it's like no one really thinks about that, but it's like something people have to come to grips with. But whatever. But yeah. So that's. I don't know, man. I think we could have a good time up here on Earth, but it's, you know, it sucks for everybody. It's kind of shitty.
Is
for a
it
lot
the
of
human
people.
condition?
I think so.
We're stuck. The iPhone.
Yeah,
I got an iPhone in April or May. I had a flip phone from 2013. I shut off my iPhone too.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that motherfucker is worse than bad cocaine.
Yeah, dude.
it's
I'm
not-
coming to grips with how addicted I am to my phone, and it's
God.
like it's bad, man. I got my screen time down to like I think like 3 hours, and I think this week I should be hitting 2. But it's like, dude, it's such an addiction.
But
I
you
check
need it for your business, right?
Yeah, I do, but it's like I could use it in a way where I'm not like pulling it out, and being like, let me see if anyone. And I'm just
Every
like,
2 hours, they're just
well, the
allowed it.
worst part is with social media, you're addicted to is yourself. You're like you've
Right,
commodified
yeah.
your personality.
How many likes?
You're checking
How
your
much
numbers.
money?
Yeah, now you have like it's like very real, you know, quantitative data on like your personality, and so of course there's an addictive component to the phone, but like nothing's more addictive than yourself and like, you know, your insecurities and checking on all that, and I think that's what ties a lot of people to it. It's
And
like,
the kids, now that they're like, if I don't have likes, this whole idea of
yeah, it sucks.
shootings.
Yeah, so that's, you know, but either way. So yeah, I kind of agree. You know, something needs to happen, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like when people try to push the pedal, like I got the solution and push the pedal, usually it's just 10 times worse. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see what happens with people. But either way, so dude. Okay, so this is what else did I want to ask you about? So this is the thing I thought was crazy. So you're kicking around different you know, prisons.
6.
Yeah, you're 6
I
different
didn't
prisons.
adjust well.
You-
Who does, right?
True, but you're kicking around. Things are going well. You know, you've got some hustles going on, and then
Always hustle.
you have the altercation with the guard. And this was the thing I thought the craziest part of the book. You have the altercation with
If
the guard.
you said that name in a disrespectful way, the Aryan Brotherhood would have killed you.
What do you mean?
Wait, which guard you're talking
The
about?
guard who sent you to Marion.
Oh, that guy, the lieutenant. Okay, no.
What guard are you talking about?
And when in Marion, when I said I'll do you like Tommy
Dude,
Silverstein,
that was crazy.
That's
So-
like ridiculous.
Okay.
Oh no, the black lieutenant though. That
black-
really was the chain of events to get me there.
This was I thought it was kind of nuts. So you're in jail. Things are going well. Whatever. This black lieutenant takes your bag. You guys get into an altercation. So
he
then
called me a hippie rat.
He did.
He threw me down. He called me a hippie rat, and I called him a really fucked up name. I don't want to
it's
say
all right.
it.
You don't have to.
So
but
but the whole yard saw that.
yes. And he had to
And
do
I
something.
never ratted, but he knew that. He knew
Oh,
I
I
was
didn't
good.
realize that. He said that to you in front of all the other prisoners, which is kind of a death sentence.
He's like, well, because when I came to that prison, he wanted the bag.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna get that bag. I know you faked that property slip.
And your friend stitched it for you. It was like a nice, it was like your prized possession.
James Irving, yeah. So it was that was the third prison I was in with it. And then I'm coming out of chow to go to the yard, and he just, give me that bag, you hippie rat. And I yanked it back just out of reaction. He body slammed me. He's like 6'4", 6'5", 250, 260, huge lieutenant. I mean, he's running it. And he's like, you fucking hippie rat. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But he knew, when you come in, they know who's ratted, who didn't rat, who might have to be in PC or not. So he knew that he was pushing my buttons. But anyway.
Yeah, so the thing I thought that was wild was like that incident kind of aligned itself with the crack laws, where it was like they reduced the sentences on powder cocaine, didn't reduce the sentences on crack cocaine. So then there were these like racial riots in the jail. And then that
was the first one out of 12 to riot. That's really significant.
12 prisons around the country. Like,
yeah.
And like, dude, the extent of the damage was crazy. Like the bill you were saying.
Did you see the report?
No, what was the report?
I have the whole riot report. Well, now I got to re-put it back up on my new website, but it's a report from the Justice Department. It shows like all the prisons that rioted, what was burned down to the ground, and they said that the instigator was Talladega, Alabama, and they charged me with leading it, which was the lieutenant.
That was
like
a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Well, it was really like a racially inspired riot, because it was like black guys were going to jail for crack, for the most part, white guys are going to jail for coke,
and at methamphetamine and LSD. They changed all those three.
Oh, okay. So
three.
Yeah. So the black guys were understandably kind of pissed. So they rioted.
It's the same drug.
I know. And then that lieutenant was like, oh yeah, this guy instigated the riot. So you went from just like, prison to then having to go to Supermax prison based on really just a beef you had with the lieutenant, which is fucking crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. There's 22 or 23 black guys and me. And then after the riot, when they did the hearings, everybody in the prison got in wicked trouble. But no one got sent to Marion, but just us 23.
And Marion, can you just explain what Marion is? Because I didn't know what it was before I read the book.
Supermax Federal Prison opened up in 63 after Alcatraz closed. There was a control unit. And then in 1983, Tommy Silverstein and Clayton Fontaine killed 2 prison guards in the control unit, which was the supermax of supermaxes. And then as a result of that, they made all of Marion the control unit, and they called it the Marion model. So that was the most secure, heinous 23-hour lockdown ever fucking conceived. And man, and then like 2006, they decommissioned it, and then the ADX opened. But in the 1990s was like 385 of the most sophisticated, predacious motherfuckers on planet Earth, man, and me. What the fuck,
and
dude?
it was
Long hair.
23-hour lockdown, 1 hour outside a day.
Yeah, and you had bars. So that's actually was a saving grace, because if you're laying in your cell, single cells, you're looking out and you see the big, tall windows, where if you imagined it was like a door, like in the ADX. Ugh. And some days they might give us 90 minutes.
Damn, and you were saying in the thing that really kind of like I thought was nuts in the other prison during the riots, you were like about to go to the yard to work out, and you were like,
it was weird.
Let me go back to my room. And you were saying the yard itself was just like an apocalyptic battle of like dudes getting raped, people getting their heads smashed.
When I went to Marion, my neighbor told me a story of Dean, who went out on the yard, because he said that after the riots they both got transferred to this other prison. Then T came to Marion. And then he didn't know that what you just said that I put in the book, but he told me what happened out on the yard. And he said Dean was almost dead. Like he was beat so bad, like his head caved in, like he was alive, but just like not doing really good, even after like months of, like he was that fucked up. But then in the unit you walk in and it was just a jungle, but like we were all together. They were breaking the machines. We were trying to break down the door to where all the records were, because all the official records were still like physical. These guys who had all the crack law guys wanted to burn them.
Understandable.
Because no, I only have a year.
Damn.
No, they would have said.
I know that. I'm saying I know that'd been crazy taking that down. In that book I taught, in the book You Can't Win by Jack Black, that like he's like a burglar or whatever in the early 1900s. He ends up finally in a jail in California. I think in was it Folsom? Maybe it was Folsom. I don't know where it was, but he either way there was an earthquake and all of the records for all the prisoners got destroyed in like a fire or something, and he ended up getting stuck because he couldn't get out. You couldn't go in or out because he was already there, so he couldn't prove like he did enough time. But he eventually did get out. But yeah, that's damn. If only those guys had grabbed the records, that'd have been so sweet.
When they toured us out of the. Because I didn't see everything that happened. Once they locked us down, we were in that unit for 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 days before we left for Marion. But when they took us all out to go to Marion, the one building was burnt to the ground and another building was halfway burnt down. And then when we were in there, we could hear bulldozers and shit, but you didn't really know what's happened. But I'm like, where the whole housing unit was, it was gone. It's like, fuck. I mean, you could smell smoke, but you just didn't know how bad it was.
Yeah, you got to see the damage.
Before they took our radios, we would hear on like that one dude, I can't remember that guy who would always come on in the morning. It was national radio show, but he had started to say about all these other prisons that rioted.
Mm-hmm. He said all the other ones, and they kind of try to suppress that. Yeah, I remember reading that, how they were trying to act like, nah, we're good. And then didn't other ones like say there was stuff just so that they could clamp down and get overtime and all
exactly.
that?
That was in the report too.
Yeah.
There were some that did that. And the funny thing is, the ones that, here's the thing, what I talked about earlier, the medium security prisons were the ones where the most violence and buildings being burnt happened, because these guys that it's a consensual crime. I sell you something. Yeah. I know it's illegal. All right, I didn't do the crime, do the time, but it's like I could have raped, I could have robbed you, I could have stolen so much more money and gotten less time. Like, it's not fair and equal justice.
That was always my thing. It's like the prison law should be according to who would you rather have as your neighbor, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Would I rather have a guy who sold coke or a pedophile? It's like, all right, a pedophile should be longer time than a guy who sells coke, because it's like that's who I'd rather live next to if I had to choose. Or if I didn't have a choice, it would be like, it should be, people should be sentenced accordingly.
Did you ever look at when you moved to a new neighborhood, the federal sex offender registry?
Mm-hmm. I check it all the time.
It's unbelievable map, and you could just hover, you see who they are, what their crime is, are they on probation?
And there's
what a tool.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
And there's a lot of them, man. I did it when I lived in Philly, and I was shocked. There was a decent amount. I think they had them all in one house. They were all in like this one house, like 4 blocks away. And I don't know if they just like some landlord.
That might be my next play. Free prison.
What do you mean?
Because the state, there's a demand. Where are you going to put them when they come out?
Right, yeah.
And maybe like there's just, I don't know, like the greed makes me think about it. But like if you could find a place for them to live, you're going to have you'll be able to rent the unit out every time.
Oh, you're talking about like pedophiles specifically, or just
prison?
Yeah,
pedophiles.
You should, yeah. There's
what are we going to do with them? Where are we going to put them? And the thing is, I don't know if it's an addiction. I want to think it is, but like those guys should never come out ever.
Yeah, they should have to. You should, like you
said,
they should be. There's a documentary to watch where it's called Pervert Park. It's a really rough watch, but they have like a trailer park in Florida, and they're just like gated community. It's like they just all live in here, and people will just fucking beer bottles over at them.
Okay, so they're contained then. At least they know where they are.
But dude, not like so. I used to get housing for people when I went to school for social work. One of my jobs was to get housing for prisoners. So you get out of jail, I would do a little interview. I'm like, hey, I'd have to get like, what is the nature of your crime? But it was just like selling drugs and stuff. And then the lady who ran it didn't tell me she had opened up to pedophiles, because that was one of my. I would like break the ice, because I didn't like being like, hey, what'd you go to jail for? So I'd be like, hey, I have to ask you this. As long as you're not like a pedophile, whatever, don't worry. And they would always be like, motherfucker, I'm not a fucking pedophile. I'm like, oh, And then one day the guy was like, well, I actually am. And I was like, what? And then they were like, yeah. And I talked to my boss. I'm like, what the fuck? And she was like, yeah, I decided to start taking pedophiles. We got to find them housing too. And I was like, okay. But
what year?
This was only like, this would have been 2019, 2018, around then. My thing was like, I didn't want to, and I would call their probation officers, because I would be like, isn't there laws? These guys can't be, I can't like throw this guy into Best Buy. Like there's kids around there.
No, there's the 1,000 feet or whatever by a school and all that. I think there is.
That's what I thought it was, man. But this person, it was kind of like, leading the thing, as far as I remember, was kind of like, no, they're fine. They have rights. And I called the guy's probation officer. I'm like, this guy can't work here, Kenny. The probation officer was like, fuck no. And I was like, yeah, I didn't think so. So it was weird. I remember ending up telling the lady, I was like, I
don't ask, don't tell. We got to get rid of them.
I was like, bro, I'm not sending this guy, into apartment buildings. I don't know. So it was I just told her, like, I don't,
The stigma seems less now for ex-drug dealers.
It does. Those guys.
Pot's legal. I mean, if you went to jail for weed, how could that even?
I got those guys' houses pretty easily, because I would just cold call landlords and be like, hey, I got this great deal, 6-month upfront paid rent. And they'd be like, well, what is it? And I'd be like, here's the catch. And then they would go, oh, come on, man. I'd be like, dude, they're not like fucking pedophiles. They just sold drugs. Like, come on. 6 months is paid up.
People pay their rent. Who cares?
And then, so they were cool about that. But once she tried to have me find like the pedophile, and I had to tell her, like, look, I'm not the guy to help these guys.
Because now they're going to,
not even, yeah, then you're going to fuck up all these other guys' housing. And it's also like I remember the one dude would call me, the guy who was on my caseload who had that kind of stuff. And he would just be like, hey, I'm outside in my head. Like, and I wouldn't even be there. And I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, it's raining. And I'd be like, tough. So I'm like, there's got to be someone who can help that guy. So they do need help from somebody, but it was like, I can't do it, man. I couldn't do it.
Like you just build like a 600 unit spot, like, and they're all there. Where are they going to go?
Dude, it's a weird thing to do. And they just kind of like and quietly tuck them in a neighborhood. Like, hey, here's the guys here. And it's like, it's fucked up, man. It's really
and
fucked
then
up.
when you do the real estate transaction, you got to say, about the sex offender registry. Like you have to check that box.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like if someone moved into your neighborhood and they were that, it's going to devalue everything.
Yep, it's that. Those guys have a hard time.
They never seem to be able to break free.
No,
it's not like you sold LSD, you went to prison, you never sold it again.
Exactly. Even if you did, whatever.
Well, I did flood Marion with it.
Did you really?
Last time.
What? How'd you do that? So yeah, you were in the super. You're in the
I
Supermax.
did. I set it up. I don't want to say his name.
Oh, I remember this because you were pissed when you got. Was that correct?
I don't think I put it in the book, but. Maybe I put it in the book. I don't think it's 2015 I got out. No, that would have been after the statute of limitations. So I set it up. I said to my friend, listen, I don't know if I'm going to do this, but if you get a letter that's like this from this place, this is where the LSD will be. So I drove. I was on federal. All this shit's passed. It's 5 years statute of limitations. And the only way that they can extend it is if they ask a court, and then they have to notify you.
It's just all entertainment anyway, dude.
So, right. And so I got it. I got the liquid. I put it on the paper. I wrote this letter with gloves on and with my left hand, the envelope. And I drove past Marion, way down south through Illinois, and then into that state that's right to the east, either Tennessee or Kentucky, and then just went to a mailbox with a stamp and just put it in. So then it had that thing, right? And then he acknowledged it in a with a future letter. He didn't say
anything,
but then I never wrote him back again.
That's cool, guys.
I had to do it as one last act of defiance. I had to do it. And the thing is, they could have come to me and said he got caught with it. You sent it. There was no fucking trace. I didn't have a cell phone. It's not like they knew I drove there. I didn't get pulled over. There was there's no way.
And it just ran right through there. That must have been wild.
The thing is, I did a line of coke one time in prison, and smoking weed, it was hard to get used to. When James first got me stoned, I was crying in my bunk. Because it's just the horror of what, dude.
That must have been terrible getting that high in jail.
Twice there was acid and I didn't take it. But one time this guy gave me this line of coke, ether based, just wicked, just so high. But then coming down off that, dude, was not that you wanted more, but you're like, I'm in fucking prison.
Ugh.
Dude, that's a hard fucking reality. So
what was it
taking
like,
acid, Herb got 4 or 5 hits. Each was 200 mics. And he asked me for a week, not to push me, but he said, because he's like, we're all going to take this, but there's one for you. And then he kept coming to the chow and saying, are you sure? Because he's like, I'll probably never get this again. Mm-hmm. And then I remember when they took it, they had a great time. But I just thought if I took that in jail, 8 or 10 hours of tripping in prison, I don't know, man.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't.
I have a friend who smoked K2 in jail, the synthetic weed.
Yep.
And he said and this guy was doing.
Isn't it just like
heroin.
weed?
Yeah, but apparently it's kind of harsh from what I've heard. It's it can be because it's just a chemical. So weed, the plant can only get so strong, but K2, they're spraying these synthetic cannabinoids. It could be fucking.
Who knows?
Exactly. So he said, and this guy, he had done
tripping
all the drugs you could possibly do, and he was like, dude, fuck that shit. He said he was in there. He kept hearing people come in, checking on, and it wasn't happening. It was him and the dude in there just in terror the whole time.
Did you like the way we made pipes?
Yeah.
It worked perfectly. And the thing is, if you blow the smoke out with another tube of bounce, you see smoke, but you cannot smell it.
That was the old
unbelievable.
That's the old college trick too.
You got to suck the whole hit down though, so there's no smoke left.
That was the college trick. You would put the Febreze fabric softener sheet in a paper towel thing and blow it out.
Because pot smells so strong to people that don't smoke it.
Yeah, smoking weed in jail does seem like a lot of trouble. Seems like you'd have to be really kind of careful. I guess you could go outside.
Sparky took me out and we just kept hitting this joint during the move right when I arrived. And when I got back, I swear to God, it was like I took 10 hits of acid.
Freaked out.
I was so fucking stoned. Dude, and I'm 151 months. I hadn't won an appeal. It was just this wickedness.
It really set in. That weed does that to you, where the reality of stuff sets in.
Every day he took me twice a day, and after about a week, it was
you got fortified.
Fuck it, you got to do your time, right? And then they taught me how to beat the piss test. You drink.
I read about that.
You drink a gallon of water, and then the lieutenants give you 2 hours, and because they can't just grab you and say pee, they say you got 2 hours to report to the lieutenant's office. Mm-hmm. You got to drink a full gallon in 15 minutes. They taught me this, and then they said by the 6th or 7th piss, they said, you want to wait to 7 if you can wait till 8. It's just pure water.
Don't you get a dilute though? I heard you the drug test now they can hit you with it was too diluted. Where
This was the 90s.
Oh,
And the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, whenever they would take they take it, you'd go back to the lieutenant's office, they would make it look like they're putting it in a mailer, but then they would always ask you, if you admit to us you did drugs, we'll only give you 30 days. I mean, I never would, but nothing ever came back dirty.
That's
Today
cool.
the test might be different,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the whole whatever. But if you didn't piss, you would get a dirty. Then it's 90 days in the hole and you'd probably get transferred.
Yeah, it sucks.
Which is the fucking worst.
And you also, if they, even if it was diluted, you'd have the time because it'd have to get mailed out, ran through a lab, and by then it's like, hey,
I don't
that
know.
was
Did they do
diluted.
that in the 90s, the dilution?
I've just heard about it. I don't know. I was so young in the '90s. I was a wee boy, but I remember hearing about that move, like just slam a bunch of fucking water, but then the test would come back as like inconclusive because it was just too diluted.
I think that eighth piss, because you're talking now maybe at 45, 50 minute mark, if you slam that, it looks like water. It smells like water.
Yeah.
It's probably barely 98 degrees warm.
No, it makes
Like-
sense back then that they would have been like.
But today, I think they probably could detect it.
Yeah,
on
I had
anything.
I had to do a drug test when I was working for my dad. He does demolition. We were like working in like on the hospital kind of, or was it a hospital? It was a school. It was a school. So they like everyone had to get drug tested. So I remember what we had to do. We had all day, and it wasn't like you had somebody watching you. So we just had like I filled up a latex glove of pee from somebody I knew, and then you just keep a hand warmer on it, so it keeps it at like 98 degrees.
How did you know he was clean? You just hoped?
I just knew he was. I asked him. He didn't. I knew so he didn't smoke weed or do anything. So I was like, let me get pee in this glove for me, or pee in a thing. And then I just dumped it in the glove.
And it worked?
Kept it on a hand warmer. But then I got there, my friend needed some too.
Oh.
So we had to split it. And then we both, I didn't realize there was a minimum amount. So we both gave like that much.
Did they take it?
Yeah.
That's
The nurse was
awesome.
cool. She was really, but they hit you with the temperature. That was a big thing. They temp check it.
Because
make
then they
sure-
see if it's cold. It's not 98.6.
Exactly. So the hand warmers, I had to ask for hand warmers in like July. I was like, you guys have hand warmers back here? And they're like, yeah, but why? I was like, I don't know, man. I just need them. I'm going somewhere. So, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. So then that story too about getting
What
them-
about the duffel bag?
what about it?
What do you think happened to it?
What, the duffel bag you got taken from you? Didn't you get it? Did you get it back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of the book, man. You got that was it all came together. That guy
What the fuck? So that
he probably felt
motherfucker.
fucking bad.
That lieutenant sent it to me after I got home from Marion, which means he held it the whole time I was in Marion.
What the hell was it? What was that about? Why did he give it back to you?
It was a fuck you.
You think that was his fuck you to you?
100%.
What? You don't think that was? I took that as the guy who was like had a nice moment where he was just like, let me give this guy his bag back.
No way.
Why did he do that? Just to be a
I
dickhead?
think so. I burned it in a 55-gallon drum that day. I had a ceremony to let it all go.
That's cool. That makes sense.
I did. And maybe it was. I never thought that. I mean, I wasn't in a bad. It just struck me like this motherfucker sent it back now.
It is weird. Also, is it normal to keep like? How would he even get an alert that you were out?
He was following it. He had to be.
Yeah, that's
like
kind of weird.
Yeah. So like, but it represented so much.
Yeah.
I had to like the Phoenix, like just let this go.
Burn
And I
this
had
thing
a
up.
ceremony.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
No one was there. And I just like, this is going.
this thing's out of here. That makes sense. Just
I don't regret it, but it would have been kind of cool to say, hey, here's the green duffel bag. But
no, man.
I had to let it go. I had to just get rid of it. It symbolized so much.
Yeah, and just to move
Was
on.
that bad psychologically? What do you think?
No, I think that's if you feel good doing that. Get rid of it. Just to
Yeah.
that way you're out. That's like a chapter that's totally done with.
Yeah.
And there's something kind of cool and ceremonial about being like, all right, I'm done with this part
I
of my
can
life.
let go.
Especially if you think the guy was fucking with you, I'd be like, fuck you, dude.
Well, I don't know that. It shocked me though
Yeah, I'd be
that
freaked
this
out,
came.
dude.
It was shocking.
Yeah, that would have freaked me out. Like, first of all, I was like, dude, you're keeping tabs on me.
Staying with my brother, which the probation officer would have known, but like all my other stuff I had.
Yeah.
Like, because when I left Marion, there's that stuff that got sent. Like, this is maybe weeks or months later. It just was weird.
That is weird. And then the one thing I did want to ask you about, because this is in the book as well, you got out and you started a pretty successful real estate.
Dude, I was
venture.
so
Killing it.
focused. I got to come back. No, I was like by accident. The house,
Yeah.
there was a bust. They showed coke. I was going to my job. There's an arcane law that was like, you can make an unsolicited bid with the Marshal Service if they seize assets. And I knew all this from jail.
Yeah. 'cause
And
you
so then
studied
I
up.
actually dated the Marshal.
It helps.
A little. She probably would deny it. But so I bought that house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bought that house probably 18 months later for like $25,000. And then I just like felt like changing the design. My mom would always take me to these Frank Lloyd Wright homes.
Mhm.
And so I just started doing it. And then some people helped me in the neighborhood. They saw sympathetic to the architecture, but I needed help like with the design and just people and contractors. And then that just started the evolution. And I was hyper focused, monster, just like going after it, like not worried about a Rolex, but just loving what I do. And I was good at it. The best that I've ever been at anything probably in the world of commerce and making money that's legit, paying taxes. I mean, 2005, I paid $175,000 in federal tax. I mean, where the fuck did that money go, man? A fucking tank tread? Like, goddamn. But so that just focused me, and I just would buy buildings, restore them, or buy apartment buildings, restore them, rent them, and sell them.
That's cool. Yeah, and you got into like just kind of. I remember the book
I did
you were saying-
addresses and everything. And then my lake house, this massive lake estate, S109W35190 Jacksbury Road, Eagle, Wisconsin 53149. Dude,
Nice.
fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, you had
that
but-
spot was unbelievable.
And you got hit with a subprime mortgage crisis. Yeah, man.
I was told.
That's wild, dude.
I was told not to. Yeah.
that,
I mean, I don't blame them. I wanted to get to 3 million and then get 3 million in T-bills and then still do what I do. But that was my goal. And I had 9 years at $1,010,000. I bought that lake estate and 2 other houses, 6429 North Santa Monica and 1525 North Marshall. And then just, it went, man. And I paid all the mortgages till I had like 11,000 left. And then a bankruptcy lawyer came to me and said, if you file bankruptcy, you could stay in that lake house for another 18 months. And I said, dude, I'm giving the keys back. Like, it's done. I'm not just going to stay here. And I flew to Hawaii and I started to caretake a farm. But that took me 10 years mentally. Like now, like you being on here, like that focus and drive, like it's there. I have it, but I still do it today. And I have a little, not where I was, but I'm not driven like I was and I want to be.
Right.
I want to be.
But you're still doing the properties.
Yes.
That's cool. Rehabbing and fixing up.
Yep.
Yeah, that was.
I guess I'm an artist and buildings are my medium. I'm not
kinda
a
cool.
contractor because I can't do it for someone else because then it's their vision and I can't just do what I do with the people, you know?
That's true.
So that's what I know. Like I can't, like I'm not a painter.
For sure.
That's kind of like what the hand I was dealt.
Yeah. No, that's pretty
And
cool.
I love working out. I like working out.
It's a nice physical job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the plan now? What are you up to now? And what's your plan to do?
Well, you've
what you
you've
gonna do?
inspired me. I'm going to do an Audible on the book. I'm going to do a second edition. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep the name. And then the whole social media thing is like all new to me, but like you can get paid for views.
Yeah.
Like you can go on a show and drink liquid death and show it and like you're going to get 10 fucking grand. Like I see it. I understand marketing. Like, holy fuck, man.
You want that liquid death money?
Fuck yeah, man. Why not? Like it's cool. The fame part is weird to me, but I guess like that's part of it, Like
So what, are you going to start a podcast or something?
I don't think I could compete.
Right. But you just want to do the real estate.
I'd love to sell the book, the movie rights. I had started a cream
yeah.
plate. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
with the book, it was funny because you did what, 5,000 copies?
Yes,
Sold them, and now the only books are on Amazon. And I was like,
People, I'm not
like
selling them for $200.
Dude,
Those are other
we
people.
looked up his book. Me and Nate were there. Nate Marshall were looking
You
up his
thought it
book.
was me.
And I was like, damn, this guy's selling his books for fucking $200.
No.
And they're secondhand sellers
because
you
they
sold
see
all your ones. Yeah.
from the soft white underbelly. It's
Yeah.
like within a couple months, I'm like, Mark, what the fuck? People are selling my book for $250. He's like, yeah, that's part of the deal.
You got to print more, dude.
I could print more or do a second edition because what I want to do is a chapter a letter every other chapter, and then add Marion. I took a bunch of stuff out about Marion.
Yeah, the book was. I'm telling you, the book was great. I couldn't stop reading it. So.
But they do a feature film on a guy who invented the